This is the Vaguely Nerdy Podcast, where each week this brother-sister duo gets together to discuss the box office, latest film and TV scoops, our latest movie or show review, and what we're getting into next. We are your hosts,
Cheryl
and Jay.
Okay, so this week we watched Death of a Unicorn, and I am on deck for trivia. Are you ready?
Sure.
I couldn't find nothing related to this movie. And nothing very, I tried to get like Paul Rudd trivia, and it wasn't very good. So I got some actor-related trivia. Ready?
Okay.
All right. Téa Leoni, who is the mom of this movie, was previously going to be in another horror movie franchise. Can you tell me what franchise? And I'm going to make you tell me what character because of the franchise. But
so it's a character that's existing, was played by somebody else?
Yes, correct. In a very, very popular horror franchise. So first, guess the franchise. I ain't going to give you no clues.
Nightmare on Elm Street?
No.
Okay.
Newer.
Newer than Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
It wasn't Scream.
Yes.
It was Scream?
It was Scream. Now that you got the franchise.
She couldn't have been Gail.
No.
She couldn't have been Sydney either.
No.
A very popular character?
Yes, but she's not in all the movies.
No, right. So, is it in the first Scream?
No. Not the first one and not the last ones. I'm trying to do it. Yeah. I'll tell you which Scream. Scream 3.
Who's she gonna play in Scream 3? There weren't that many young.
Okay, let me give you another clue.
This
actress that ended up playing this character is currently in a hit show right now.
She couldn't replace Parker Posey. So
she was originally. Yikes. She's a strong contender for the part of Jennifer Jolie. But the studio felt that Parker Posey was a better fit.
Yeah, Parker Posey was made for that. Yeah.
So Téa
Leoni is different actress.
Right.
Her and Parker Posey are not interchangeable.
I agree.
By any means necessary.
I agree. Parker Posey definitely fits Scream a little better. Yeah. So, because when I'm thinking of younger Téa Leoni, I'm thinking of Bad Boys. And I'm kind of like, I don't know if that would have worked.
Because the whole point of the character was to play a fake version of Gail.
Right.
So, she could have done it, but it just wouldn't have been as funny.
It would have been different.
Parker Posey.
It would have been a different character.
Parker Posey killed that.
So,
Jennifer Jolie, R.I.P.
Right. It's just like when we were talking about John Malkovich playing Green Goblin. You were like, nope. And somebody on TikTok was like, agreed.
Willem Dafoe.
Okay. So that is our trivia for this week. Let's hop into the episode.
Welcome, fellow movie buffs. I'm Jay.
I'm Cheryl.
Listen in as we break down movie and TV shows, tell you what's in the plot, and hear if we think you should have watched it when you had the chance.
Dun, dun, dun. So we got a gaggle mountain size full load of news this week because this week was CinemaCon. So each studio or a couple studios every day has new announcements. So we're going to do a high level review of those. We don't go into every detail, but we'll hit the high points. We also have several cars in the trailer park this week and a BUNCHA-CRUNCH that's going to end on a little bit of a sad crunch, but we can't leave RIP to another legend. So let's start off at the top of the CinemaCon news. So what I did was I broke it down by studio so we can have some sort of order to this.
Okay.
And I only hit like the high points because they talked about a bunch of stuff. So first studio that went up was Sony. So their big movies that they talked about was the Beatles biopics. And that's 4. So, there's 4 Beatles. They're going to be putting out 4 Beatles movies in April of 2028 on the same day. I don't know why they would think this was a good idea, but I'm curious to see how it's going to play out.
I'm not even curious.
You're not even curious about like the box office rollout? I'm not curious in these movies at all, period.
I'll be interested to see like if
it works.
If it works.
Yeah. So they also revealed the cast. So Paul Mescal, who we just saw in Gladiator 2, is playing Paul McCartney. Barry Keegan is playing Ringo Starr. We just saw Barry. Well, last I saw Barry was in Eternals. He was also in Saltburn, which I did not see.
He was in Batman.
Oh, he was Joker for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then we have Joseph Quinn, who is now Johnny Storm, who we also saw in A Quiet Place Day 1.
And Gladiator.
Oh crap! And Gladiators. I just realized that. Huh? And Gladiator too.
Antebellum or whatever his name was.
Right. It's going to play George Harrison, and then Harris Dickinson, who is the one I'm not familiar with, is going to be playing John Lennon. Does he sound familiar to you? I didn't think so. Like maybe Jay know who this is because I've never heard of this man before in my life.
Yes.
Where's he from?
He's the baby girl guy.
Oh, so he just got on the map.
He's been in other stuff.
Okay, but baby girl was
the
the
big thing for him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything.
He played one of the brothers in Iron Claw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody was making a joke how like nobody outside of like social media knew these people, and I was like, you might. Joseph
I
Quinn.
feel like the first 3 people know who they are.
Outside of social media though, outside of like film Twitter, you think like the commoner general audience moviegoer?
I mean, if you, I don't. If you're a moviegoer, yes.
Okay.
If you're a moviegoer, yes. These people have been in movies.
But you listen. These days, we need general audience to be in theaters because
Yeah.
movies aren't making no money. But Joseph Quinn will be cool once Fantastic Four comes out. He'll definitely be like almost household name level.
I think he's doing fine. He's got that Warfare movie also coming out.
I quite
with
like
Alex
Joseph
Garland.
Quinn. Out of all these people in this movies that I'm not gonna watch, Joseph Quinn is the one I'll be like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm not gonna watch it, but I don't know about these. I mean, somebody was like, we can't get one Michael Jackson movie, but we get 4 Beatles movies. I was like, well, I don't know. Yeah, so these are not coming out for a couple years. We'll see if they stick to the strategy of all these movies coming out on the same day. I think it's ridiculous.
I'm interested to see if anybody wants to see these movies or what their goal was.
Like, what's the target audience?
Maybe these were. I mean, well, I think they already had these too deep into production before they realized what was happening to a complete unknown. And before they realized nobody cares about these anymore.
Yeah, Complete Unknown, I think, didn't get any. It was awards bait for sure, but I don't think it won anything.
Yeah.
But, you know, everybody loves Timothy Chalamet.
And after it wasn't getting any awards, they completely dropped it, stopped marketing it, stopped talking to even the studio. So.
Yeah, so we'll see. If you're a Beatles fan, let us know if you're excited about these 4 movies and if you're going to watch all 4 on the same day and have a movie marathon.
Can we put can we have a moratorium on musical biopics?
I think we can need a break. We need a break. And did you hear? I didn't put the Michael Jackson one on here.
Bring back Behind the Music.
Something.
Yeah.
But the Michael Jackson one, they saying it's about to be broken into 2 parts. Because I was like, just make it. If Oppenheimer can be 3.5 hours, you can make a Michael Jackson movie in 3.5 hours.
Just get this all done at once.
I
imagine having to.
Don't know how that's
pause your doctor's appointment in the middle and come back later to finish half of your exam.
Especially when
let's do all this mess here.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, we know what happened.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, why are y'all trying to split? It worked for Wicked. I don't know if that's gonna work for no musical biopic.
Where's the Yoko movie?
Anywho, so next she's probably gonna be. Oh, you know what? There was a rumor that our girl.
Yeah, Anna Sawai is supposed to be playing.
It's supposed to be in one of these.
So I'll be interested
obviously
to see
the John Lennon one, right?
I'll be interested to see her scenes.
Sure.
Yes.
I'm not watching the whole movie for that.
I'll go see
the clips.
Yeah.
There's somebody gonna post on social media.
Yeah. I'll go see Emmy winner Anna Sawai.
The trailer. Right.
Yeah.
Double Emmy winner, by the way.
Yes.
So next up from Sony, they talked about the Insidious movie that is coming out April 26, 2026. This will be the 6th movie of the Insidious franchise. Had no idea there were 6 of these. Have you watched? Of course you have. You've seen all of these?
Yes.
All of them?
I saw the first 2.
Okay.
About the family. Then I saw the one with Lynn Shay by herself investigating something.
Is Insidious the one with Vera Farmiga?
No, that's The Conjuring. Insidious, and Insidious is the one Patrick. They both have Patrick Stewart.
Oh, okay. That's why Patrick Stewart. I know you're talking about.
Not Patrick Stewart.
I know you're talking about. Don't worry about it.
Patrick
Swayze.
Nope, he's dead.
I know you're talking about. You ain't got to correct yourself.
I know. I need to know.
Patrick Ewing. Nope.
No.
Definitely not that guy.
I like him too.
Patrick. He's just an Aquaman.
Patrick Wilson.
There.
Yes.
Bing.
Patrick Wilson plays the husband, both, not Patrick Stewart.
Or Ewing. Or McCartney.
So I've seen pretty much most of them. I may have not seen one, and I saw the last one,
which was Red Door, right?
I'm very interested how they're gonna.
It don't matter.
The last one was Red Door. Was about the son grew up, and has the same powers as the dad, Patrick Wilson.
I don't know what the powers.
They basically are. They can astral project, but when you astral project, you also attract other spirits out there who are looking for a body. So the last one ended where the son went to college, grew up. Learned how to use his powers. Him and his dad joined forces, and it ended up leading all the way back to the very first film.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. It had a full circle moment, so I don't know why they're opening this back up.
Just like they did Final Destination.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so. Exactly. So, the two biggest announcements that came out of Sony were both Spider-Man related. So, we will be finally getting Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, the third part of the trilogy, June 4th, 2027, which is like 3 years later than what we thought we was getting it. So, it's got a date. It's locked in. The rumor that they started over might have been a little bit true, but we'll see. But they show like pictures, and I don't think they show clips, but they show like pictures and stuff of the animation. Prowler is back, obviously, and him and Spider-Man and Miles are like teaming up. Gwen is somewhere in there, so it'll probably be good. I mean, if you've seen the other two, you got to finish it off.
Yeah.
The other big Spider-Man news is that we got the title for the fourth Spider-Man Tom Holland movie, and it's going to be called Brand New Day. Made me think of the Wiz movie or song. Can you feel brand? That's not probably going to be in that movie at all. Actually, it should be, because I mean. If it's, but that is coming. We already knew the release date for that. That is going to be coming out July 31st. It's just barely making the July release date. 2026, which is 2 weeks after the Odyssey. So we will have a packed July for sure, which means Disney will at least get a couple of weeks of IMAX screens because they moved it back. Because Nolan gets like 3 weeks. And then they were like, well, we don't need that first opening week. We can just get the IMAX screens after. So another thing that came about, or this was kind of after, is that Jacob Batalon. Did I say that? Batalon. Sorry, Jacob. Who played Ned is expected to come back for Brand New Day.
Cool.
And I think we already knew that Zendaya was coming back.
Yes. He's not doing that without his fiance, wife. Whichever one.
She'll be white by
that
then.
time.
By
Yeah.
then, probably. So yeah, excited about the brand. They got the logo is in a different style. The Brand New Day is in like a different style.
Not jazzed about that subtitle, but I also
you are not jazzed about the subtitle.
I'm not jazzed about First Steps either. I think these subtitles are a little weak, but
okay.
I'm sure the movies will be fine.
Brand New Day is obvious because I feel like, we're supposed to be getting Peter Parker where nobody knows who he is, right? And so he's going through a brand new stage, brand new day. They're gonna change the logo from what we saw, but I think it's cute for now. Whatever they got is cute. It looks different from the other Spider-Man logos, but I am surprised you don't like it.
I'm not a fan of the subtitle. No,
really.
I'm sure the movie will be fine, but the subtitle is. I don't know.
It's too cheesy.
Who's brainstorming these subtitles? First Steps.
The First Steps I still don't quite like, but Brand New Day I feel like I was like, I understand what it's signifying, I guess.
I don't know. It reminds me of Brave New World, too.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's also very close.
Okay. Now you got me not liking it. God dang it. Okay. The movie is probably going to be amazing because it's going to be directed by Daniel Cretton. Daniel Cretton. Thank you. Who did Shang-Chi.
Yes.
Who we love. So this will be a good movie, but we got a little while before it comes out. Next studio that went up was Lionsgate. They gave us a little news about Now You See Me 3, which officially has the title of Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Okay. Surprise, surprise. And they also announced that there will be a fourth Now You See Me in the works.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Right, because the third one ain't out yet. I was like, now how y'all talking about the fourth one and the third one? So they must be very confident about this third one.
Yeah, I can't remember if the last one was very popular. I went to see the first one in theaters, saw the last one at home.
I don't think I've seen any of them.
They're good.
Are they?
Yeah, they're very good.
Maybe I'll do a
they're like magic mysteries.
Marathon watch.
And they use like practical sleight of hand magic to like perform like heists.
Because they're scammers, right?
Heist and stuff.
Or, excuse me.
They're all scammers.
Okay,
yes.
scammers.
It's basically the Fast and the Magical.
Like, okay, I was trying to think of like a better word besides scammers, but I couldn't think of nothing.
It's like Fast and Furious, but with magic instead of cards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I've never seen them. I have to check those out. Other news we got from Lionsgate, which was the bigger talk, was John Wick has 3 new projects, y'all. 3. They milking it dry. Donnie Yen is going to, and I think we already knew about this movie, but Donnie Yen is going to direct and do his character for John Wick. It's John Wick spinoff. He was Kang in that, and that's going to begin production in Hong Kong this year. And we already knew about that, so that wasn't a big thing. So something that was super new was that there was going to be an animated prequel to John Wick, because Keanu Reeves was probably like, I'm not doing a prequel movie. No. Because they would have to de-age. No, probably not. Keanu Reeves look pretty good. So, but anywho, the animated prequel is going to go back in time to tell the story of John Wick before the first film, as he completes the impossible task of killing all his rivals in one night I do like me a one-night movie, in order to free himself of his obligation to the high table so he can be with his wife, who eventually, as we know, died before the first movie started. I don't think we need this.
No.
I don't.
What makes John Wick fun for me is the mystique. The less I know about his past. And they get to, the best parts about the John Wick movies is when they randomly get to throw in a Halle Berry and Donnie Yen and be like, they have a past. We're not going to show it to you, but just know that they have a past.
Right.
And they're going to like give you like exposition and tell you
Oh,
what
we
it
need
is.
to keep diving into the
No.
lore and the mystique. And I feel like that's what Ballerina's trying to do a little bit, is give us like the backstory. Like, we just want her to fight.
Yeah, no. I like
daddy.
John Wick I like John Wick gets to throw in like actors that we know.
Yes.
Who are adults. And they get to already have a backstory.
Right.
Because what are they going to do? Talk about the first time he went and met Willem Dafoe?
Yeah, you're not Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. You forgot Willem Dafoe was one of the main characters in the first John Wick. Yeah. He was one of the hitmen that was hired to kill him. And then at the end, they joined forces. And then Willem Dafoe got killed by the chick who was also staying at the hotel, who broke the rules, and they killed her. Yeah.
Has it been that long since I've seen John Wick?
Oh,
Jesus.
But
let's do a rewatch.
The best part about John Wick is that you just throw random people in there and be like, hey, they have a connection.
I literally am about to go watch John Wick over again.
Willem Dafoe was one of the hitmen in the first one.
Okay.
Yeah. And he got close.
Okay.
And then he got killed by... No, he didn't. I think he got killed by the girl.
I remember the girl.
Who was Mockingbird in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, yes.
Because she was also one of the hitmen.
She was. Yeah. Right. That's so funny. I think it's not funny. I'm putting funny in air quotes. That Donnie Yen Kang is getting a spinoff, and we still don't have a spinoff for...
Halle Berry.
What?
Yeah.
There's some bad blood there. I'm starting a rumor, but I think it might be true. Another thing we got about John Wick is that we're getting a fifth movie, a John Wick 5, even though, spoiler alert, he technically died in the last movie. And I'm pretty sure Keanu Reeves said he was tired, which I was like, oh, this makes sense to do an animated prequel because he ain't got to like do no work. Not do no work. He don't have to do no body getting beat up. But now he's coming back for a fifth one. Him and Chad Stahelski.
So the check cleared.
The check must have been doubled and cleared because he's literally, he died. Yeah. And I actually think John Wick 4 had a perfect ending to like end it. Y'all can do as many spinoffs and prequels as you want, but we don't need to continue this on. So I'm going to put this in an unnecessary bucket. I'm sorry.
I would still see it. I'm more excited about this than Ballerina.
Sure.
Yeah.
But what's the plot?
He
died. He literally died.
What are the plots to any of them?
And he stuck it to the high table. So what are we doing? Going on vacation? Is he gonna meet somebody?
Maybe
is he gonna
meet personal vendetta?
Is he gonna meet Constantine? Because that's what we really need to be working on.
Maybe it's not table related.
Okay, whatever. Fine.
He's made a lot of enemies across the films.
Okay, so we're gonna have a new enemy.
Maybe Common comes back.
No, that's not my favorite Common role. I don't have one, but that one ain't it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people do survive John Wick movies, so.
Yeah, including John Wick.
Yeah,
so John Wick 5, y'all, coming to a theater.
Maybe it's Clancy Brown.
Okay. Sure. We're milking it, and I feel like the well need to be dried up at this point. Anywho, another movie that we got from Lionsgate was a movie called A Long Walk. This is a dystopian horror movie. It's going to be directed by Francis Lawrence, who we know from Hunger Games, and it's going to be starring David Johnson and Mark Hamill. Now, I don't need to tell you who Mark Hamill is, but if you forgot who David Johnson is, he was the synthetic in Alien Romulus. Yes. So this movie is based on the Stephen King novel, which is apparently his first novel he ever written. Mm-hmm. The premise is set in a dystopian alternate version of the United States. So, the Hunger Games. It's ruled by a totalitarian regime. More Hunger Games. But the plot follows contestants on a grueling annual walking contest. A little like Hunger Games. Although I guess this was probably first. But anywho, it sounds interesting. Apparently, they did show a little clip. And I guess they have to walk 3 miles. Like, it's like the fastest person to walk 3 miles. It sounds very like...
It's weird. Horror, so what are you walking through?
They didn't say that. And I think Mark Hamill plays like
the biome of evil?
Probably. Probably like stepping on Jackson Legos or something in bare feet. Mark Hamill plays the bad guy in this. So they described him as very menacing.
It's not new. Mark Hamill's always been the Joker.
Oh, yes. We get a live action evil Mark Hamill. And then this is actually coming to theaters this year. So thanks for letting us know. September 12th. So this will be coming out this fall.
Cool.
Sounding pretty good. Next up on the studio docket was Warner Brothers, whose presentation was probably the least exciting. But anyway, we learned about a new movie called Weapons. This is from Barbarian director and also Resident Evil director now, Zach Krieger. This one is following a teacher played by Julia Gardner. This is also a horror movie, by the way, if the Barbarian and the Resident Evil didn't give it away, whose elementary school class goes missing for an unknown reason. The mystery is deeper than expected, and the horrors are beyond your imagination. So they showed a little clip of this. All of the kids, like, in unison, like, get up and leave or something. And they're all, the people and the parents are blaming Julia Gardner's for some reason. It also stars Josh Brolin and Benedict Wong. And it's also coming out this year in August.
Interesting.
So we're getting this a fun flick, horror flick for the summer.
This is 2 under Julia Gardner's belt.
Yes. Oh, because she just did.
Wolfman.
Oh, nope. I was about to say the Hulu series that she had.
The apartment movie. So I guess 3.
Yeah.
Three horror things.
So, yeah. Now, one thing I will say about CinemaCon is that it is for theater owners and theater executives. And then you can, I don't know how you get tickets, but like regular people can get tickets, but they don't show all of the footage. So people just give trailer descriptions instead of the trailers. So we don't actually have seen all of these, but I guarantee you a lot of these are going to be coming out in the future. So we'll be able to describe and actually talk about the trailers once we see them. Warner Brothers also did a panel for Superman, which is coming out this July. They did not show anything at the panel. They just talked. And I think they showed, let me take that back. They did show a clip at the panel. It was an extended clip of the trailer. And then they released the clip like yesterday or day before yesterday. And it just shows more of Crypto being an annoying dog, jumping on Superman while he hurt. We get to see the Fortress of Solitude, which looks fancy.
I like this design of the Fortress of Solitude.
It's very crisp. It's very icy.
You know what it looks like?
What?
It looks like one of the Mother Crystals.
Okay. Yeah.
From Final Fantasy 16.
Look like a baby
it's
Mother
10
Crystal.
times, it's a billion times smaller than a Mother Crystal.
Looks like a little baby Mother
it looks
Crystal.
Like it would be a Mother Crystal.
You're right. It does look like the Mother Crystal. Huh. You can't blow it up, though. That's his home. We got to see some robots who take care of Superman. And then we see Superman getting healed by the sun. And then the rest of it is just basically other clips we've seen from the trailer.
Yeah.
So people are suspecting that we'll get another full trailer because Superman Day is coming up later this month. So we'll see, but not big news. And that was it. DC didn't talk about no other DC projects. So I'm assuming they're still happening.
We can look forward to the scene when those robots all get killed.
We already seen one.
Yeah, we already seen the first trailer. So it's like, so these robots are toast.
One of the robots is getting murked for sure.
Right.
Probably
the one with the most speaking lines.
The one that she said, "Oh, he made me blush." It's definitely probably that one.
She's probably toast.
She out of here.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's the one." I literally said, "Oh, that's the one that dies."
Yeah.
So that's all we got from Warner Brothers and DC. Next up, we have Universal Studios, where we got a Megan 2.0 trailer. We'll talk about that in the trailer section, but we got a plot about this, and Jay had already guessed it, and he was right. So this movie will follow Megan being reincarnated, and she's hired by the military to stop another android who is played by, I'm forgetting her name right now, but she was just in Ahsoka.
Oh, Ivana Sakno?
Yes.
Yeah.
She is now a new upgraded android, and Megan is basically hired to take her out because now she's killing everybody who created her.
Yeah.
So essentially the plot is
Terminator 2.
Yes. We're getting Megan in Terminator 2 form.
Yeah.
But I will save more comments about Megan when we get to the trailer. The trailer's really good. Spoiler alert. Something else we got from Universal is How to Train Your Dragon 2 is coming June 2027. How to Train Your Dragon 1 was actually shown. The full movie was shown at CinemaCon, and everybody and their mama loved it.
Great.
So it's probably it's given what's Universal? Not Shrek. Yes.
It's DreamWorks.
Oh dang. DreamWorks Universal, right? Anywho.
What are you, I'm confused with.
I was trying to compare the popularity to another movie that's
How
out.
to Train Your Dragon?
Isn't it that's also from Universal? It's not Shrek.
I think How to Train Your Dragon is DreamWorks. Is DreamWorks and Universal the same?
They all be like under the same. How to Train Your.
Yep, DreamWorks Land is at Universal Studios. So I guess
okay,
it's under
there
an
it is.
umbrella. It's
there
owned by Universal.
Okay,
yeah,
so but
it's
the reaction to the first one, because this is a remake from the cartoon. is very good. Has been very good. So I guess they knew it in advance. It was like, by the way, guys, we got a 2 coming out. So I haven't seen either one of these. So, but they're very popular.
Yeah.
So good. Congratulations to the fans. Y'all getting another one before you even seen the first one.
Yeah, I'm too old for coming of age cartoons, but
it is
I'm glad everybody else is enjoying it.
Right. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You win. Something else we got from Universal is some more details about Black Phone 2. Basically, the grabber is Freddy Krueger.
I don't like it.
This is what they showed a clip of it, and I guess he is able to come back from, he's in like some other parallel demonic universe plant or whatever, and he's able to project the kids, showing them a death or thinking that the kids die. It sounds very Freddy Krueger.
What a way to massacre a first movie.
Well, and somebody said that Scott Dickerson, who is the one who...
Yeah,
Derrickson, excuse me. I guess he wanted to make a Nightmare on Elm Street at some point, and he didn't get the ability to do it, so they were like, he's getting his way to do it through this movie. Mm-hmm. I thought that was pretty interesting. But it is described by multiple people who were there as Freddy Krueger vibes.
I still think people should watch the first Black Phone because it's good.
Yeah.
It's like a horror version of like Goonies a little.
Okay.
It's the ending is uplifting, and it's about kids who are using their shine-like powers to
help
overcome a predator. Mm-hmm. And he gets what he deserves in the end. One of the kids, the ghost helped the kid kill him.
Right.
So the fact that he gets to
go
back and haunt the kids in the afterlife. I mean, I guess it's the same as Freddy Krueger because he was like a rapist who murdered kids, and then I guess he got to
come back
haunt kids. But it just sucks that.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people saying that that's not what they were expecting.
Because we get to see them triumph over him, and then he gets to come back and terrorize more kids.
There was a lot of people were like, "How do you make a 2 out of this?" Because he dies in the first one.
Yeah,
won't be watching. Yeah,
no.
As soon as I saw the word Freddy, I was like, "I'm out."
I won't be watching just off the fact that
unless people describe the trailer wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know. There was a mention of him ice skating across the lake. I was like, how does he do that? I don't know. Trying to chase a kid or something.
No.
So yeah, Black Phone 2 coming to you, the theater, coming soon. Something else we got from Universal was Jurassic World Rebirth. They showed a couple of scenes. People were describing that as the scariest entry in ages. Good. So we're getting a spooky Jurassic Park. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
Because they were comparing some of the dinosaurs to the xenomorph from Alien Romulus. I was like, yes. I
watch those all the time.
Yes, scary dinosaurs. This is my most anticipated for July.
Yeah,
like that and Fantastic Four are close, but Jurassic just by a little hair.
Yeah, I like that dinosaurs in 65 were scary.
Yes,
yeah. All dinosaurs are scary, but they went the extra mile to make them more menacing in 65,
they did.
And they set up the scares.
And this time we getting like scientifically scary dinosaurs, which are
freaky looking, mutant, nasty looking dinosaurs.
The human imagination dinosaurs.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. All right, next up for studios, Amazon MGM Studios. This was their first CinemaCon presentation because MGM was bought by Amazon, but Amazon is like a streaming service, so they kind of like, are they a studio or are they not? But they were like, yes, we're here. Netflix is probably gonna come next year. Like, don't forget about us. We're a studio too. We got some details about a new movie from Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson called Mercy. Chris Pratt plays I guess he's a human living in the future. He has 90 minutes to prove to an AI courtroom that he didn't kill his wife, who I'm assuming is being played by Rebecca Ferguson. In his courtroom, he's a judge, jury, and executioner, and has infinite resources to prove his innocence. The twist of the movie is he is the one who made up this invention. So it actually sounds pretty interesting. I'm gonna be honest. Because at first I was like, Chris Pratt, outside of Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, wait a minute, and Jurassic Park. Never mind. I was gonna say outside of Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't know what Chris Pratt movies I like. I did like the first Jurassic Park or Jurassic World that he was in.
Yeah.
So this is coming to theaters.
I'm not interested in this.
No? Sounds kind of interesting. It's Rebecca Ferguson.
But, the worst thing you could do is tell me to watch a movie Rebecca Ferguson's already dead.
Oh. Well, I assume that she is the wife. She could be like a friend.
It seems
trying
like
to help
a one-man show type of movie.
The description of the trailer says it looks like it takes place mostly in like one room.
Yeah.
So I don't. Hopefully, Chris got the range to play 3 different people.
Hopefully,
we'll see. Something else we got, a new movie from Mahershala Ali, aka Blade Maybe, will star as an assassin dealing with loneliness and by Bassem Tariq's new innovatively made action film, Your Mother, Your Mother, Your Mother. Now, I looked up the significance of why you would name this movie this way. Apparently in Islam, there is a saying where you say, your mother, your mother, your mother, like, pray for your mother, your mother, your mother, and then your father, to place emphasis on respecting your mother, like, a lot. Mm-hmm. So I think there's some sort of connection to, I don't know if it's like religion or it's an assassin. You could have an assassin in religion. Why not? I don't know if it plays on like any part of religion, but we got Mahershala Ali as an assassin. So yes, please, I'll take it. If we can't get him as a vampire, I will take him as an assassin.
So are they still making Blade together?
He's not on Blade anymore.
So he left Blade, but Mahershala Ali went to join him on another project.
I mean, why not? Blade is obviously not.
Blade's not happening.
I think it is. Marvel has a movie slated for they have to do something else in 2027. Right now, all we have is...
Why do they have to do something else in 2027?
Because we only got Secret Wars. You think they're only going to do one movie a year? That's not happening. They only did that for Deadpool because of the writer's strike. They definitely doing something else in 2027. And it's going to be Blade. Calling it right now.
Okay.
On air. Episode 88. Another new movie we got an announcement for was Is God Is. It follows twins who go on an Odyssey-fueled journey to fulfill a wish from their dying mother to kill their father. Now, I was like, now that's kind of a crazy plot description. And then I was like, ooh, let me look at this cast list. So it's starring Carrie Young and Mallory Johnson, who I'm not super familiar with, but they play the twins. But the daddy that they're trying to kill is Sterling K. Bryant. I was like, oh, my interest is piqued. And then they also include in the cast Vivica Fox, Erica Alexander, and Janelle Monáe. So I'm locked in. I don't really care what else is going on in this movie, but it sounds good. And now next up, last but not least, Disney/Marvel. All of the news that I have is actually for Marvel, so I should have just titled it Marvel. But anywho, Avengers Kevin Feige phoned it in because he was not actually at the conference because he's probably on the Doomsday set. Make sure it doesn't go well. He said that Doomsday will focus on the Avengers, Wakandans, Fantastic Four, and Thunderbolts, and the original X-Men all fighting Doom, which people were thinking it was going to be like an Avengers versus X-Men movie. And I don't think that's what we get.
There's an Avengers versus X-Men storyline.
Okay. Why did people think it was going to be in Doomsday?
Because people don't
like make things.
They put half a thought towards something.
Okay.
And then they just run off into the distance with it.
Got it.
Shout it from the top.
I mean, a lot of people was running. I was like, what makes y'all think this is going to be X-Men versus Avengers? Like, I don't.
Because of one comic book storyline of X-Men versus Avengers.
I was literally confused.
That was mid.
So,
and people wanted to,
they was running with it.
Yeah. They also really want to see Rogue kill Captain Marvel. People are weird.
Oh, yeah. I'm not.
That's most of the reason why they want to see Avengers versus X-Men, because they want to see Rogue take Captain Marvel's powers. It's like they're not going to get rid of both of those characters.
Gonna get on that soapbox because I could, but it sounds like we are definitely getting. It sounds like we're gonna be hopping from place to place, maybe universe to universe, as they're trying to fight as Doom wreaking havoc.
Sure.
He also said that all the cast has not been revealed yet, which we already knew, but now it came out of Kevin Feige's mouth, so we can actually believe it.
Yeah.
They also showed a little bit of Fantastic. I don't know if it was a Fantastic Four trailer or a clip, but it is confirming that Sue Storm is pregnant. She says it in the clip. I guess when they had family dinner at 7:00 on Sunday, she tells all of them that she's pregnant, which we assumed from the clip that they play every Sunday at 7 because it looked like she kind of waddling a little bit. Cool. And I didn't want to be like, does she always walk like that or does she waddle? But she's pregnant. So we getting a baby. And then we also got some footage from Thunderbolts at CinemaCon, and somebody confirmed that Bucky does not survive as a congressman and he only lasts half a term.
I think that sucks that they revealed that.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
Did you assume that he was going to be? It's just
because then what was the point? His whole campaign took place off screen between films, and we barely got to see. All we got to see was a few scenes in unrelated films that he was in a suit.
I'm assuming it's going to start off with him as a congressman, or maybe he loses his election and then I don't know, because he's in the trailer, he's in a suit. In one of the trailers, he's obviously in a suit in a courtroom with Val talking at the mic. So he probably starts off and then quits or something, or maybe loses. I think having him lose would actually be kind of cool. instead of him being like, I quit. I'm having a moral
He
compass.
probably just ousted or something.
Something like that. So, but we didn't get any other. CinemaCon is not really where they announce slates. They'll probably saving all that for Comic-Con in July. But that was all of our news for CinemaCon. Anything stand out to you? A long walk sounds cool.
A long walk sounds different.
It does sound different.
If anything, but it's a horror, so depending on the degree of horror, are you going to be able to tolerate it?
You know what? I actually want to see a long walk.
What if they're walking through a field of ghouls?
It depends on what they look like. Because I think I'll be able to handle 28 days later or 28 years later. Like, we're going to watch that, right?
Okay.
And then weapons sounds cool. Except I don't know what, like, is it going to be like Satan leading the kids to like the underworld? That depends.
That's more like Fede Alvarez's thing. Zach Krieger is more like a
See, I didn't watch Barbarian.
Something human has taken place. Like Barbarian, the monster chick was actually just an inbred woman. So it wasn't something that was outside of the I mean, it's completely outside the realm of possibility.
But it wasn't supernatural, or it wasn't.
It's based in some form of reality.
Okay, right. It wasn't from outer space.
Right. It has nothing to do with Satan.
Okay.
But Stephen King likes to dip into the Satan pool, so.
I mean, right. So. I'm interested in those two, and I'm also interested in the Mahershala Ali movie and the God is God with the twins trying to kill Sterling K. Brown.
Those look interesting. Of course, Jurassic World Rebirth.
I'm very excited.
Super excited about.
Give us. I don't even need another trailer. You know, to be honest, just get to July. Just get to July for that. But yeah, that is it for CinemaCon news. Whew. Now let's get into the trailer park. Toot toot. Beep beep. Jay was supposed to be setting me up for the toot toot, and then you just be leaving me hanging. But it's okay. I did it myself.
First stop on the trailer park is, I don't know why I scrolled up too far, is Fountain of Youth. This is going to be going directly to Apple TV. It's a movie. Yep. It's going to be out on May 23rd. It's going to star John Krasinski, Eiza Gonzalez, and Natalie Portman. It is about John Krasinski and Natalie Portman are siblings who are going on a expedition across the world looking for the Fountain of Youth.
It looks fun.
It's pretty straightforward.
It's what do I want to
call it? Indiana Jones,
National
a little Pirates
Treasure.
of the Caribbean.
What's the movie? The video game turned a movie. Tom Holland.
Uncharted.
Yes, it's giving a little Uncharted. I actually think this should go to the theaters, but I don't make those decisions.
It's Apple TV, so yeah.
They don't need it, but I feel like they could at least make $12.
It looks well made. And it looks fun. So
it's a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah. So I mean,
I don't know why he didn't.
It's a Guy Ritchie movie. It's a Guy Ritchie version of Indiana Jones, National Treasure, Uncharted.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks like a fun time.
Yeah.
I might check it out.
So it looks fun.
It's a Labor Day weekend, though, so it's like 12 other movies coming out. We'll see.
Next up on the trailer park is Tron Ares. This is coming to theaters October 10th. This is going to be the 3rd Tron movie.
Okay, I have not seen any of the Trons, and I feel like I need to if I want to watch this movie based on the trailer.
I've seen part of Tron 1.
That's the 000 one.
I've seen all of Tron 2, Tron Legacy.
Right.
And this one will be the 3rd one.
It
looks like the only person that's in all of them is Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
This isn't going to include his son. So I wonder if because the second one was about his son.
Right.
So I wonder if they're just retconning it.
Oh.
Because the second one ended where his son went into the world, the game world, but then made it out. So maybe
this one doesn't seem to take place in a game at all.
No,
based
but
it looks
like it takes place in the same city, which is
okay.
So maybe he left the door open when he left the digital world.
There's always a portal somewhere.
But that was like 15 years ago.
Oh.
So.
Huh.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen these movies, I think this trailer don't tell you nothing. So maybe that's good.
So basically what is Tron? Tron is a video game world where you, Jeff Bridges created it.
Got stuck or something, right?
Got stuck in it. It's basically a world full of like different arcade game simulations. But if you die in there, you die in real life.
Matrix.
It's the government in there is really strange. It's run by like one rogue program that kind of acts like Agent Smith.
Okay.
So it
Definitely
sounds
Matrix.
like, and it basically wants to rule over all of the programs that existed inside of the game world. So it sounds like they break out into the real world, and now they want to conquer the real world as well. So
that's a pretty simple plot then. I can follow that.
We don't know who the protagonist is. Is it Jared Leto?
I was
or
gonna
is it
say
Quicksilver?
Oh,
Because he's also in that.
is he?
Yes.
He's not in this trailer. Did I miss him?
He is, which was like, so I was like, who's the lead? Yes, he is in the trailer.
It's y'all. The trailer only a minute and a half, and I was paying attention.
He's in the trailer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rewatch it.
So I don't know who the protagonist is. I don't know who the villain is.
I don't know
We get some voiceovers of Jeff Bridges. Maybe he's the bad guy now because he was left in the world in the second one.
Interesting.
He was kind of running the world a little bit.
I don't know. This is coming out in October, which is it's an okay movie month. I was gonna say it's not August, so that should be pretty good. So pretty good. I don't know. I'm TBD on Tron because I ain't seen nothing.
Trailer looked okay.
It looked fine.
I'm interested to see what it looks like with them, these characters being in the real world.
Okay.
So,
It does look good. I will say that. The movie looks good.
Next stop on the trailer park is for the Naked Gun reboot. This is coming to theaters on August 1st, 2025. It is going to star Liam Neeson,
who is the son of who I can't think of his name. Leslie Nielsen? Yes, from the original Naked Guns. Now, I did not watch Naked Guns growing up, but I know it's weird. I've never seen a full movie, but I know the premise and the purpose and the setup for these movies. This trailer is just like those movies. So I feel like they've nailed the tone. I did laugh out loud at the end because there is a very funny, I don't want to spoil it because I feel like you should watch it. It is a very funny part at the end that gives that like Naked Gun sort of comedy. It's Naked Gun. Like they don't try to spice it up, change it up, switch it up. It is the same weird, quirky, ridiculous comedy. Jay hated it. Jay liked the trailer at all. Actually laughed at the end. Like I was like, oh, this is a Naked Gun movie. And then there's a part at the very end. I was like, oh, this is actually kind of funny. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it though. I don't know if I would go to the theaters for this though. It wasn't that funny. And I didn't watch the other one, so it's no nostalgia bait for me because I ain't seen them. But Jay's like, no, absolutely not
anymore.
Y'all should watch the trailer.
The last type of movie I saw like this was The Master of Disguise. Remember that?
Okay, yeah.
That terrible movie, which was funny then when I was a kid, but as an adult, I was kind of like
Naked Gun. I feel like is an acquired sense of humor.
Spoof comedy movies, there's an acquired sense of.
It is, but it's like it takes it a step like into like the spoof. Weird territory because the movie opens up with a little girl going into a bank and the bank is being robbed, and I think the bank robber is like, what are you doing, little girl, whatever, and she's like, I'm here to rob, I'm here to kick your butt or whatever, and she takes off her little girl takes off what's clearly like a Mission
Impossible face reveal,
like Tom Cruise would do, but it's Liam Neeson, but he's like obviously grown. He's grown man Liam Neeson in like a girl's outfit, and you're just like, but that's how Naked Gun is. So if you don't like that type of comedy, you're gonna hate this movie. But it does nail it. I will give it that. I don't know if I would watch this in theaters, but this actually might do the gangbusters. They put it in August, which is kind of like dead zone for movies. Yeah. So they probably like, hey, ain't no competition.
And it's Liam Neeson, so
slide it on in.
Expectations are extremely high.
It's not. He's falling off the scale of prestige. So yeah. I want y'all to watch the trailer. Let us know.
He hasn't had a movie go to theaters in a while, so
he has been doing some direct to streaming things.
Yeah,
I'll just call them things.
Interesting. Yeah. Last stop in the trailer park is for a good one. This is Mithrigan 2.0. This is coming out June 27th, 2025. It is a sequel to the first Mithrigan that came out a couple years ago. It is, like we said, it's T2 Judgment Day.
It is.
It's
much fun.
It's the Aliens to Alien.
Yeah.
Instead of being a horror franchise, we have jumped right into action.
This is not a horror movie anymore.
It's the Predator 2 with Danny Glover of Predators.
Yeah. Y'all, Megan is not scary. The first one was not scary. This one is even somehow less scary.
No, this is a full-fledged action film.
It's a comedy action.
It's a buddy cop almost.
She kind of by herself though. She don't need no help. It don't look like.
No, not really.
I don't think, but it's definitely all the things you described, but in a much, we would call this campy, right? Would this be a campy movie?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They've turned up the comedy. They've turned up the Megan's personality. They've turned up the action. It's a full-fledged action comedy movie, and it looks like looked like it's pretty freaking funny.
Yeah, it looks funny. I like the relationship between Megan and Allison Williams' character in this
The
one. A little
mom,
bit. Yeah.
or not the mom, the aunt.
The aunt,
right?
yeah.
Because she tried to kill the aunt in the first one, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Y'all gonna do what?"
They have to like come
Bring
to
her
terms.
where?
They have to come to terms of the fact that she tried to murder them.
Yeah,
in the last movie,
and even her coworkers are there, and they like,
yeah, her coworkers there. It seems like they branched off and started their own firm because they're in a completely different office building.
Yeah.
She obviously got rich from her invention because they're in
living
a
good.
nice house.
They are living good.
They're in a much better house. No neighbors, it looks like.
Nope.
Which was a big issue in the
They're
first
doing
one.
pretty good. I think my favorite part of the trailer is we opened up the trailer with Megan doing, I think, a voiceover. But when we see her, she's not in her old body and her doll. She's in like something that looks like a kid's toy robot body.
She's like Eve from WALL-E.
Yes. they did not put her in the kid's body. It was like, nope. She was like, why y'all got me in this janky body? It's funny because she has no arms, no legs. She's literally just a regular kid robot.
Tabletop robot.
Yes, yeah. And she is not happy about it. Not happy at all.
But I liked her back and forth with Allison. Yes. When she was like, "You tried to kill him." She was like, "I was upset." And when she was basically telling them the only way you're going to be able to stop the evil robot is by using me. And she was like,
but she want her real body
back.
back.
Like, "Do you want a printout so you can read it at your own pace?" I do hope the Gemma and the little girl's relationship is just better.
Yeah, because
I don't want to have to go through the build up again.
No, give me back my. Yes, we should be past that.
It's been long enough.
Yeah,
she's she got bangs now, so they should be in a good place.
We should. I actually don't care nothing about their relationship at this point.
I mean, I hope they're still not doing the whole we're at odds because we don't really know each other because I adopted you and I wasn't really part of your life when you was a kid. Like, come on, we survived death together
from a robot.
That should have bonded us.
right. You make a good point. I hope we don't rehash that.
I hope they just have a good relationship.
Yes.
And the only obstacle is the robot.
It looks good, y'all.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised at how good the movie. I mean, it's obviously they're not going for no Oscar or nothing like that, but it looks like a good time. Yeah. And when we first saw this, it was not a packed theater at all. We was in there cracking up, like laughing, kikiing, and all that jazz.
And I like the fact that it makes sense why they had to bring her back. They aren't just bringing Megan back because there's a rogue robot out there in the world, and they're like, well, because it doesn't make sense to be like, okay, well, why activate another rogue robot?
Right.
It's awful. It's because she's coming for them too. So this is the only option there.
The robot that has been created, can't think if they gave her a name yet. She is coming to kill her creators, and her next on the list is the aunt and the girl.
Anybody who has knowledge of her existence.
Yes.
And it goes all the way back to Allison Williams.
Right. Well, because remember in the first movie, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, the guy at the end sold the technology.
Yeah.
So and they've like upgraded it and played with it and tested it out and built a new robot, but this robot is T2. So she coming to kill all her creators.
I hope her coworkers live because her coworkers would also be on that list as well, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So. For sure, they would have to be. Her coworkers were funny.
Yeah, so it makes sense that they have to activate her because they will also die if they don't. So,
and you know, Megan's mission was to protect the daughter at all costs.
Yeah, so that's still a thing. So.
I'm very much looking forward to this. This is actually the weekend before we get all our July movies. So we're going to be on a good run come to summertime.
All right, so that's all the Trailer Park News. Let's dive into this BUNCHA-CRUNCH.
All right, first up in our crunchy segment, Sydney Sweeney is in final talks to star in Legendary's live-action Gundam movie, which we don't know much about.
Interesting.
So good for her.
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe she'll play the princess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't even remember when this movie's coming out.
Or a pilot. One of the two. I mean, because Gundam has a bunch of different series. There's not always a princess.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We'll call her a pilot.
Sure.
So nobody gets mad at us. Nathan Fillion.
Fillion? Yes.
It ain't an episode unless I jack somebody's last name up. It's going to be Guy Gardner in the Alien child in the Lanterns.
Close.
Similar in the Lantern series, which is not, I guess, a surprise. I feel like they bringing all of the Lanterns over there.
He's a TV actor, so that makes sense.
Right. He is. He's from Grey's Anatomy.
He's not from Grey's Anatomy, but he was in Grey's Anatomy. His Fillion's been around forever.
Everybody's in Grey's Anatomy.
I first met Nathan Fillion as the evil priest in Buffy.
That man he's
been around for a very long time.
So many things. But yeah, he's already Guy Gardner in the movie, so they're just like he's gonna make an appearance in the show, which makes sense. Cool. Something that was quote unquote breaking news during the Superman panel. CinemaCon, David Fincher and Brad Pitt are going to be doing a sequel to Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Netflix, which is odd because it's Quentin Tarantino's movie.
Yeah, no.
Now, the rumor is that, you remember Quentin Tarantino said that he was going to only do, like, his next movie was his last movie? Mm-hmm. Well, apparently this movie was not the one he wanted, so he threw it over the fence, or Brad Pitt convinced him to throw it over the fence to David Fincher, who has a deal with Netflix. Sounds pretty weird.
It sounds weird to pick up a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
Anybody else's movie, sure, fine.
Why would you?
Director, but a Quentin Tarantino one, it's weird to do that. The last David Fincher movie we saw was The Killer. I was not impressed.
And it was on Netflix.
At all.
That deal is not.
Maybe David Fincher is not the same David Fincher.
From Seven.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That Killer movie did not meet my expectations
at all.
At all. So now he's going to adapt a movie that he didn't write.
It's going to be it's going to be
Quentin
styled
Tarantino
differently because it's not. Quentin Tarantino has a specific way of shooting films, directing.
So the sequel ain't going to be nothing like the first one.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's weird.
That reminds me of the Donnie Yen movie. They were talking about the Donnie Yen John Wick movie. It's not going to be like the other John Wicks. It's going to be shot and produced in the style of the other Donnie Yen action films.
Oh.
It's like, okay, well.
Why?
Yeah.
Y'all just trying to you're just trying to have a spinoff to have a spinoff.
Yeah.
Whatever. This movie, this David Fincher Brad Pitt movie, is shooting this summer. So they're not playing around. Netflix they just like, sure, do whatever. Bring us views.
Leo's not involved in this.
Apparently not.
So neither will I be. So
I didn't see the first one.
I saw the first one, but I mean, I was there for both of them.
Yeah.
I'm not just interested in just Brad Pitt's character.
Fair enough. I ain't seen it, but I believe you. I totally
the meme from I know that guy where Leonardo sitting in front of the TV.
Oh, that's what that's
yes.
from. Had no clue. And I use that meme all the time.
Yeah. You how often use the Brad Pitt one? You don't, because there ain't one.
Oh, I was gonna say. I was like, what?
Exactly.
What Brad Pitt one? Yeah, what was crazy about this is this dropped during the Superman panel, so that kind of knocked the wind out of the panel for one, but it was also April Fool's Day, so people thought it was a joke for like 12 hours.
Should have been.
People were literally like, this is not true, this is a joke, please tell me this is a joke, don't lie to me, like, so we didn't even think this was real for like 12 hours. So that was fun. And probably not.
Yeah, the first one had, she wasn't a star then. Margot Robbie, yes, but not Mikey Madison. She was one of the killers.
Okay.
She also got set on fire. So.
Oh, that's pleasant.
Twice. Well, because they set her on fire and Scream.
Okay. Excuse me. Oscar-winning Mikey Madison.
She lived in Honora.
She did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So?
And she got an Oscar. So
yeah.
Good for her. Good for her. Next up, we have a new Friday movie coming, which I don't know if we need, but it is officially in the works. It will be called Last Friday, obviously. And it was going to be written and starring Ice Cube.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sure. I don't think you're going to be able to capture the original essence of Friday, but you can try.
I think One of Them Days tried to capture the original essence of Friday.
I think it did pretty good.
I think it did well. And I think that's why this is coming out.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Because people have been asking for a Friday movie forever, and Ice Cube hasn't lifted a finger on it. He's been too busy doing other stuff.
Like what?
Exactly. But now that One of Them Days came out, it was extremely popular and successful.
One of Them Days did very well.
It reminded people of earlier black comedy films like Friday.
It did. I don't.
And now Friday is
Ice Cube on my list of people I like to ignore, so I don't know about this.
So funny. I
think
it's funny.
Oh yeah,
I do think that's exactly why.
In an ironic kind of way.
Yeah, One of Them Days came out, was successful. Cool. Ice Cube was like, "No,
yeah,
I can't let that slide."
Of course, because that's something Ice Cube would say.
No.
Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah.
Man, exactly. Next bit of
interested
crunch.
to see what the cast list is for this. Chris Tucker doesn't curse like that anymore.
Nope.
So,
And we lost John Witherspoon.
We did. So,
what are we gonna do? Get Cat Williams back? The Cat Williams was funny in One of Them Days, but
he's gonna exist in both universes.
Sure, they separate movies.
I guess he could. Yeah.
Who else are they gonna put in this movie? Who?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Because One of Them Days did the exact same thing where they casted comedians who were like known
right
at the time.
They gonna get, they gonna get all them popular YouTubers we don't watch, to be honest. Because who else gonna watch this? Who else is gonna watch this?
The people who like Friday and the people who like all those popular YouTubers, I don't think are the same people.
You know, they're gonna try to bridge the gap.
That's not the same.
That's who they're gonna try to appeal to. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's who they probably trying to appeal to. Maybe.
Yikes.
I don't know. I'm lukewarm.
And at this point, they're too old to be a mess.
I was just about to say,
too old.
What is this gonna be about? Because it's been like 25, 30 years since the last one. Why y'all still into shenanigans?
At this age, at your big age.
That's why I think it's gonna either be somebody's kid.
And at his big age, he still can't be in nobody's apartment complex.
It's gonna be somebody's kid, and the kid is gonna be one of them YouTubers we don't watch.
He can't be living in nobody's apartment. It better have something to do with his kids.
That's what I'm saying.
He better be a married man in a home, and his son is having being
a knucklehead,
unable to pay their rent, and having to throw them a house party. But this can't still be Ice Cube trying to survive the week.
But you know what I don't like?
What?
New younger crews. I'm automatically checked out. Don't care about nobody's kids.
Yeah.
No. Keep it.
Next bit of crunch is Ralph Fiennes is reportedly in talks to play Coriolanus Snow.
You got it tripped up on something finally.
That name's not real.
Snow. I'll just call
and
him
Hunger
Snow.
Games Sunrise on the Reaping.
Sure. Don't say it. Nope. Maybe he didn't want to.
Are they that different in age?
I don't know. I don't. Well, he's gone now.
I know, but
a lot of people.
This is supposed to be a prequel. Oh well, I guess he was still old.
It takes place 40 years.
This is Woody Harrelson's character going through it, so I guess he was still old,
but not that old.
I don't feel like Ralph Fiennes. I mean, Ralph Fiennes doesn't have as much hair.
He's not as gray, or white, as Donald Sutherland was.
Interesting.
A lot of people were saying, why wouldn't Kiefer do it? Kiefer. And I was like, maybe Kiefer don't want to play his daddy's character, and his dad just passed away.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, people were up in arms.
I didn't think of that at all. I wouldn't want to do that.
People were like, what? Why would you pick? First of all, why are we questioning Ralph Fiennes in anything? That's stupid.
Yeah, no, I don't have an issue with Ralph Fiennes being the character.
Second, what if Kiefer was like, no, that's kind of too personal.
I was just trying to think of like timeline wise. They're both older, but this is supposed to be a prequel. So
yes, we are still not up to the.
Interesting.
I think the book that came out is 40 years after the Hunger Games movie we just got.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Snow wasn't in that one.
Snow was Blythe.
Oh, that's right. He was the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Viola Davis was the Snow in that one.
Yes.
I would like to see more of Viola Davis's character.
Agreed.
But for this,
I guess would she be dead at this point? Potentially.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Ralph Fiennes is a great choice to play any villain. So.
Hello, Ralph freaking Fiennes. I was like, why are we complaining about this? Y'all are weird.
Yeah.
Whoever complained about this is weird.
I think it's weird to be like, why wouldn't you cast his son? Why would you want to? Yeah.
Maybe he don't want to. Yeah. You ever think about that? Anywho, but yeah, I like the other Hunger Games movie, like the one, I'm forgetting the subtitle for it, with Rachel Zegler. I would watch this.
Songbirds and Snakes.
Yes, this book just came out and people are really enjoying it. And they said that the movie was coming before the book even came out. So they were like, we making a movie about this, so go ahead, read up, and then we're going to watch it on film together. So yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
All right, and last bit of crunch we have is Sad Crunch.
Boo.
This is an R.I.P. crunch to Val Kilmer.
Sucks.
R.I.P. to an acting legend. He died at the age of 65.
Yeah. Val Kilmer would be... in some of my favorite I'm trying to think like what's my favorite Val Kilmer role outside Heat.
Okay.
He was Moses and God and Prince of Egypt. Now most people know him from Top Gun as Iceman in Top Gun. I actually didn't watch Top Gun, so that's the one people mention. He was also Batman, obviously, but I'm gonna go with Heat, and I'm gonna go with God Moses.
Yeah.
In Prince of Egypt. But he's been in, so Top Gun, Willow, Tombstone, Batman Forever, Heats,
Tombstone,
Saints.
where he played the guy with tuberculosis that somehow outlived everybody else in that film.
Doc Holliday was his role.
Outlived everyone else in that film, even against the gunfire. Him and his bleeding lungs and all.
Yeah.
In the West.
There's one, people say he should have won an Oscar for that.
Yeah, he should have won an Oscar for living. Because for being able to portray somebody who had lived with tuberculosis that long in that time period.
And I don't think, let me just check. I don't think he actually ever won an Oscar. It was a great performance though,
but I just remember that movie, watching it for the first time.
He looks bad in that too.
All of these people are dying around this man who has been coughing up his lungs since the credits started rolling.
They did a good job of making him look like
he just got paler and paler. It was hard to look at him.
Yeah.
But he's a good actor.
Yeah. But Val Kilmer was in a lot of movies, a lot of good movies, a lot of movies that people recognize. A lot of actors and directors came out and said that, how much they miss him, how it was great working with him. He actually did an Ask Me on Anything on Reddit like 8 years ago, and he talked about how somebody asked him what it was like being on Heat, and he was like, it was one of the best experiences ever because he got to work with, I think they call Robert De Niro Bob, like if you know him. So he was talking about Bob and Al, who was Al Pacino in the movie, and how much he, I guess he was like younger than both of them, so he like learning from them and being on set with them and everything. So sucks. Because Val Kilmer was amazing. He was. All his things. And his last role was actually, he came back for Top Gun Maverick.
Yes, he had a brief speaking role.
Yes.
In Top Gun Maverick.
He did. So R.I.P. to a legend. We gonna miss him. And if you have not seen, Ghost in the Darkness. That's another good movie.
Ghost in the Darkness.
That's probably one of the movies
Unforgotten Gem.
Yeah, that also had Michael Douglas in it.
Yes.
So that
Man-Eating Lions, they should make a reboot of that.
No, they couldn't do it.
Why not?
It was just some movies.
They can still set it in time. It could still be a period film. It doesn't have to be modern.
Okay, only if you set it back in them days.
Yeah.
Because the tone of the movie was.
They don't hunt like that anymore. They don't hunt with rifles. They hunt with like AK-47s and stuff now.
Okay.
So
I don't want to see that.
they don't. The way the Ghost in the Darkness worked because they didn't have semi-automatic weapons to fight the Lions of the Darkness in Africa.
Yeah.
They had to use.
They got too much technology.
Yeah.
They got too much.
It wouldn't work now.
Too much technology nowadays. But that's like one of my earliest memories of like watching a movie. I think might have been Ghost in the Darkness because it came out in 1996. So it's a pretty old movie. But if you have not, go through his filmography. There's probably something you've seen. If anything, you probably seen Batman. If anything.
Was that the Nicole Kidman one?
That was, let me check. That was Batman Forever was with yes. Nicole Kidman, Tommy Lee Jones, Jim Carrey.
Worst Batman girl ever. Love Nicole Kidman. But she was like,
that wasn't the best Batman period.
It wasn't the best Batman, but I don't know why they made her so just
Goofy.
Yes. She just wanted to sleep with him the whole movie. It's like, she's supposed to be a reporter. It's like, bro, it's a professional about yourself.
Bruce Wayne was like, everybody wanted a little Bruce Wayne. She was like one of all the Bruce Wayne.
Every scene, she was coming undone.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so R.I.P. to Val Kilmer. Lord, just don't take nobody else. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, so that is all the movie news, BUNCHA-CRUNCH, and Trailer Park this week. We're going to take a short break and get on to our review for Death of a Unicorn.
This week we watched Death of a Unicorn, which came out March 28th, 2025. It was directed by Alex Scarfman. We're going to go with Scarfman. This is his directorial debut. However, cast and characters of this movie include Paul Rudd plays Elliot, Jenna Ortega plays his daughter Ridley. We have Richard E. Grant who plays his boss Odell Leopold. Will Poultner plays Shepard Leopold, which is the son, and the wife of the Leopold family is played by Tia Leone. Runtime of 1 hour and 47 minutes, so just under 2 hours. Budget of $15 million. Current box office is $5.8 million. It's not doing that good. It's not doing that great.
Against that budget.
It's been out for like 2 weeks.
Oh, it has been out for 2 weeks.
Yeah, This ain't opening weekend. This is like second, third weekend.
Okay.
Not great for 824, but hey, not our money. The cinema score was a B-, which is so decent for horror. This was labeled as a horror, and I will just say out front, not that horror. It's not a horror movie. It's more like a thriller than a horror, in my personal opinion. But anywho, Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave this a 54.
Gremlins would be a horror movie in that way.
Sure. I'll give you that. It's more, there you go. And the audience score for this from Rotten Tomatoes was 78. So critics, they a little meh on it. Audience were a little less meh on it. All right, Jay, hit us with the plot.
The plot is Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega are on a road trip to a retreat that's owned by his boss. Mm-hmm. And on their way, on a reservation. Sorry, Correct. Not a retreat. They're on they're driving through a reservation to meet his boss that they own.
Yes.
The boss. And they run into a unicorn.
Real live unicorn.
A baby unicorn.
Mm-hmm. Little kid.
And hijinks ensue.
Yeah.
It's the only way without
They take the unicorn with them.
Yes.
Where they're going to the retreat. or reservation.
Yeah.
Whatever. And hijinks ensued.
Yes.
All right. So let's get into our non-spoiler thoughts. You go first.
I thought the movie was okay.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think it was great. I don't think the comedy hit as much as I would have liked it to. In a movie about killing unicorns, it should have been a lot funnier than it actually was.
Okay.
But I think that was part of the reason of that was because some of the characters were extremely unlikable, and that ruined some of the comedy for me.
Yeah. I will give you that. Some of them are made to be unlikable on purpose, and that is funny. But I think one particular character was unlikable, and you're like, this is not funny.
Yeah, in a way that's not funny.
Right, this is not even entertaining.
Yes.
In the least bit. And you're a comedian.
Or even, yeah.
Or you known for your comedy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree.
So that sucked. But I thought the effects were fine. I like the unicorns. I like that they did something different with unicorns.
They did.
In this.
I agree.
I think that's all the non-spoiler thoughts I have. Not a lot happened. It didn't feel like a short film.
Okay,
But
which I thought was interesting.
not a very long film.
No.
But also not too much happened. And
Fair enough.
it was pretty much on rails. And it ended exactly the way I felt like it would.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna echo some similar thoughts. I thought it was also just okay. I thought the critics were a little. I don't know. I'm not a movie
I didn't
critic.
see any critic reviews on it.
Well,
Or no, I saw some blurbs where they were basically saying it's like the worst thing ever.
yeah, I was gonna say I feel like some critics might have been a little harsh on it.
Yeah.
It is just an okay film.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's I guess when you put something's coming out of A24, you're thinking like prestige, highfalutin, cinema. This is just like a movie.
The front room was also an A24.
Oh, it was.
So
It's the budget went to these actors. I didn't go to much else because some of the CGI looked a little wonky. That's okay because I wasn't expecting I don't know, Avatar. So it's fine. I did like the best part of the movie for me was when we got to be with the unicorns.
yes.
Now the unicorns are vengeful monsters in this.
Yes.
So it sounds weird to say, but they were the best part of this movie. So I feel like that's a compliment.
Yeah, when the killing started.
Right.
Yeah.
Not the actors, unfortunately. Some of the actors were funnier than others. The main actor, Paul Rudd, was the least funny. And not because Paul Rudd's not a funny guy. It's just how they wrote his character was kind of like, ugh,
Yeah.
don't like you. But the side characters that were not Jenna Ortega were a little funnier.
Yeah.
You thought the movie felt slow. I didn't think the movie felt slow, but it didn't need to be a minute longer. Not a second longer. The length was the length, and it didn't need to go on no more. So I didn't think it felt long, but I definitely didn't need no more extra.
I think it just took forever for them to
The third act to get to the third
It took
act.
forever for us to get to the third act. It
Yeah.
took forever for I think because the movie was so predictable in a way, I knew where it was going to go. So I didn't know why it was taking so long getting there.
Well, they had to tell
they
us
got to
all.
make a movie. So.
Right. The ending is definitely how you think the movie ends is how the movie ends.
Yeah.
There's no. I was waiting for a twist. That ain't one.
No.
Just like none. Like we know up front. Ridley tells us up front.
I remember there was kind of a twist at the end.
Sure.
Maybe.
But the twist happened like 5 minutes after the thing happened, and you were like, sure, I could see that coming.
Yeah.
But Jenna Ortega's character really kind of lays out the plot of the movie, and then the plot plays out, and we're like, okay, well, we know. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're kind of just there for the kills after a certain point.
Yeah.
Because you're just like waiting until everybody gets whacked off. So like I said, on rails, not as funny as it could have been. I thought pacing was just okay. It's just an okay movie.
Yeah.
So that's kind of all I have for non-spoiler thoughts.
All right, so we are going to get into spoilers in 3, 2, 1, and we're going to start with characters. The first person we have on our list is Paul Rudd.
Blech.
So he plays Elliot.
Not to Paul Rudd, but to Elliot.
He plays Elliot, who is the father of Jenna Ortega's Ridley in this. It's only the two of them, right. Father-daughter duo. The mom has died from an illness, cancer, because they dropped the diagnosis hint, and he works for
a pharmaceutical company. The
company.
Leopolds are head of a pharmaceutical company.
Who has cancer. Cancer comes up a couple times in this movie, so I'm going to assume the mom died from cancer.
Yeah.
They're on a trip through a reservation that's owned by his boss because his boss is dying, and they need
lots
to
of money.
They need to finalize a POA basically. I don't know all the technical terms for it.
Yeah, I think they were trying to set up a power attorney.
Yeah, they're basically trying to set up like a power of attorney.
But they kind of get everything in place before Dad goes
to run the company when the dad dies, because Taya Leone and Will Poulter won't be able to. Run the pharmaceutical company in the capacity in which the dad was.
Correct.
Before he
and they want to basically meet him and his family
before they give him the keys to the whole kingdom.
Correct.
To get a judge of character, I guess.
Right. His character sucks.
His character sucks.
He's a horrible dad. He don't take up for Ridley at all. He's only Ridley and him do not have a close relationship since the mom passed. So he's just bringing her along to say, hey, I do have a family. So she's like, this is stupid. I don't want to be here. You're only bringing me as a token, but I can fake it if you want me to. Because Elliot's thing is, as soon as I get this set up, after like 5 or 10 years, we'll be set for life, and we'll never have to worry about anything. But it's like, y'all don't have no relationship. So
no, you barely know this girl. She's been vaping out in the open the whole movie. You just realized at the end that she smokes.
Yeah,
like she's been smoking in the house.
He has no backbone.
No backbone
until the last 10 minutes of the movie, maybe. And it's a very like, he can go.
They just made him.
I hate that.
They made him extremely unlikable. He was extremely negligent of his daughter's feelings. Even if you thought the stuff she's saying was crazy, your daughter's, then that means that she's having some type of nervous breakdown and she needs immediate attention. But his whole thing is just about making sure that they're set up for life.
Right.
So they have enough money because the mom had passed. And they get into an emotional part at the end of the movie where he's like, well, the reason I did all this is because I promised your mom I would take care of you. That's just a general promise that you make with parenthood. You could have done. You could have made all these choices. You still could have been a
decent person to your daughter. How about that?
You still could have made these choices a lot better. So
yeah, you could have treated your daughter like a human being.
You could have listened to her when she's crying and asked you not to go into the forest and hunt a freaking unicorn like an idiot.
They get to Leopold's place and he just kind of sends her off. She's like, I kind of want to go. I don't feel good. And he's like, oh, just splash some water on your face. Like, she don't know where to go. She just got here.
When she's talking about we have to go because she's having some type of reaction from touching the unicorn blood.
Right.
He tells the O'Dells he'll just drop her off at the airport and come right back. And she's looking at him like, you're just going to dump me at an airport?
She says, what? What do you mean? Yeah, he was going to just drop his daughter at the airport. The airport, mind you, is like, I don't know, a couple hour drive. Because they have to rent a car to drive to the wherever they are. And so I'm like, you just going to drive her? He's like, I just got to drive her back and come right back. I was like, no.
Them making him awful ruined his comedy because when he does stupid things that are supposed to be funny or he has like these one-liners, it's like in real life, I hate idiots who are also mean and unsmart.
You got the nerve to be mean.
You had the nerve to be mean and you're unsmart.
And an idiot.
They made him super unlikable. I couldn't enjoy any of his like character in
Imagine if Ant-Man was a jerk.
Yeah.
And you would be like,
you're already stupid.
Kill this man.
Yeah. You're already stupid and now you're rude to all of us. So why are we keeping you around?
Wasp. Choke him out.
Right.
Please. That's what you would be like.
It was just very confusing why they decided to make his character so bad. Like we've seen bad TV dads, but like bad TV dads to this extent was just kind of like you have murdered a mythical beast. Your daughter touched his blood. You said she was having some type of convulsions, and after that,
seizure.
Yeah, you're not concerned about the after effects of whatever happened to her when she touched that unicorn.
You're just trying to sign some paperwork
and throw her off at the airport. I thought that was weird.
Yeah, so we didn't like Paul Rudd's character, if you couldn't tell. Next up, we have Jenna Ortega as Ridley, who is the daughter. She was okay.
She was okay. She was between okay and extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
For me.
Yes.
Only because she had she just wasn't putting out enough information when she had it.
Give a little backstory. So she's going through pictures of her phone of her mom and notices there's a unicorn in the back of one. And she recognizes it as tapestries from a museum they all went to before she died, like a month before she got diagnosed. So she finds these tapestries in a book, and the son, Leopold, gives her like a printer or whatever, and she prints out these tapestries on like these big pieces of paper, and then she goes to explain these tapestries on this paper to this family who don't give no craps about it.
I find it very interesting that they had a coincidental unicorn trip before the mother died, and then later about specific tapestries that tell the historical events of unicorns, and then they hit one in the forest. I thought that was weird.
I thought that was going to circle back into something.
I thought it was going to circle back into her mom was a unicorn.
I did.
Something that would make more sense than the fact that, remember that one time we went to a museum?
Yes, that was my biggest thing about the movie was, okay, I was like, there's a circle we're forming, and the circle does not get completed.
Nope.
It's like a moon.
It's a half moon.
Thank you. And I was just like, okay, so this is just coincidental?
Yeah, it's just I thought it would be significant that
movie.
they went to see those tapestries. Maybe her mom was like trying to send her a message like,
I thought that they
when
were
I
gonna do
die,
that.
you'll be able to find me by touching a unicorn horn
or maybe her daughter was coming back and it was a way for her, to get her dad and the daughter to bond.
No. They just went to coincidentally went to go look at some unicorn tapestries.
And she just happened to scroll past the picture of her mom that had that she had to zoom in, mind you, on the background to see it.
So her character was a little frustrating because she ends up Googling as much as she can about unicorn lore, finding the tapestries. I thought the tapestries were funny. The tapestries that depicted unicorns eating people's guts out.
Right.
Because, I mean, I guess they're not horses, but horses don't eat meat. So, which is weird watching a unicorn.
They look like
eating
stallions
flesh
in the movie.
Which is weird.
Like super buffed up stallions on steroids.
She was a little frustrating because she has the tapestries. Yeah. She knows the story.
Yes.
But she's not really telling it. When she goes to the Odells to tell them to tell them why, she doesn't give them a why really. She tells them they have to stop trying to harvest the unicorn.
She tells everybody we have to leave.
Yeah, we have to leave.
We
have to stop. We have to not try to harvest the unicorn horn.
We need to be out of here.
And stuff for stuff. She's like, because we're not meant to have it. It's
bad
things will happen.
We're not
meant
to have
girl, make it plain. What's the bad thing that'll happen?
She don't say what it is.
Why you're talking to a room full of opportunists and you're trying to appeal to their humanity was extremely frustrating.
Rich opportunists who just found a cure.
Pharmaceutical opportunists.
Found a cure for everything. And you about to tell them, leave your gold mine that you just found. Let's go. And
because it's morally wrong.
And they just met you 24 hours ago.
And you're not going to tell them like the unicorns will come in here and gore you. Nope. The unicorns will throw you on a pool table and eat your guts out while your son runs away. She leaves all of that out and just says, well, the tapestries say we shouldn't have it, so we shouldn't have it. And it's like,
y'all, the tapestry
that's your explanation?
Shows a unicorn de-gutting somebody.
Your father is a lawyer. Did none of that trickle down to you?
No.
You don't know how to make a case at all? It was just very frustrating.
You don't know how to explain your side of the story.
Get it out. Tell these people they're gonna die.
I was just like,
why she wouldn't do that.
And it's funny because the son Shepard actually says it later once the first attacks happens. Like, you couldn't just say that. Yeah, you should have told us that the first time.
When he goes to her the first time before he gives her the industrial printer, he cuts her off before she's explaining, and it didn't dawn on me. It was like because she was rambling.
She was rambling.
You weren't getting to the point.
He definitely says somebody else explains something later in the movie. He's like, see, that's how you explain something.
I was just, she was fine because she's pretty much the protagonist of the movie.
Yes.
But the frustrating part is like, just put it out there. Just say that the unicorns are evil.
Spell it out.
Say that if you kill the unicorns, the rest of them will come hunt you down. Now that makes it so plain.
And chop your head off.
I didn't understand why she was just holding back so much information.
Yeah, so like her character was just okay. Yeah. Like we supposed to feel for her, and I'm like, I do, but also like, whatever.
And I did not realize until the end of the movie that she was not an adult in this movie.
Oh yeah, she's I think she's in high school.
Yeah, which I assumed that she was playing like an adult age daughter. Yeah, she's a college age student
because she's not 21.
So she's an adult, but she's like under the age of 21. I assumed Jenna Ortega would be like older.
She looks older
in the movie, like her character would be older. I didn't realize that she might be like that because she's like so young.
She looks her age, like her real life age. Yeah, she's 22. So she looks 22.
Oh, I didn't realize that she was only 22 in real life.
Maybe she just looks older.
She seems like a high school student in this movie. Like the way that she talks.
And the way that she dresses.
I
don't know.
Until they dropped the hint that
she's less than 21.
They haven't talked since she went away to school. And I was like, wait,
college.
She's in college? And then Taylor Leone likes a line later that's like, you're not even 21. It's like, wait, she's younger than 21?
So she's like 19.
That. Yeah.
She don't look 19.
No.
In this movie.
So I thought she would be older until they dropped a hint later that she is younger. And I was like, well, maybe that's why she has such a hard time explaining herself.
She don't look 22.
I was a well-spoken 19-year-old.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Anywho.
Next on the list, Richard E. Grant plays Odell Leopold, who's the family matriarch. He's dying.
Cancer.
Multiple tumors.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And after they discover the unicorn and the trunk,
They immediately grind it up and make it a elixir.
Well, because what happens is after Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega confess that they've hit the unicorn, and they're afraid, and it's basically a blackmail deal.
It is.
They have killed wildlife on this reservation, and it's punishable.
Wildlife at that.
Yeah, untapped wildlife,
Right.
and it's punishable by imprisonment. So the family has blackmailed them, basically. You can either be in on this and get rich, or we can turn you in for killing something on this reservation.
Right.
A hit and run, because they were going to hide it. They were going to cover it up, bury it, and like out in the forest somewhere.
Right.
So they find out that after Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega touched the blood, he got his sight. He doesn't have to wear glasses.
His sight gets corrected, and her acne goes away because she like wipes her face off with like a towel or something.
And her acne goes away. So they were like, okay, this unicorn. That's when they discover its healing.
They put two and two together.
Yeah. So the family immediately jumps on board and begins making steak out of the unicorn.
Yuck.
Which they
wait a second.
Yeah, we'll get back to that at the end.
Okay, pin that. Put a pin in there.
Yeah, we'll get back to that to the end.
Yeah,
so
okay.
They start making unicorn.
They start sawing
steak.
off the shavings from the horn,
the blood.
They slice it so some blood can get drained out, and like make an elixir to put in the IV to put into the dad's bloodstream.
So they put the elixir into Richard E. Grant. He gets younger looking.
His cancer goes away.
And his cancer goes away. And
Now,
his hair goes back to being black.
I thought that something was going to come up them using it. He was going to like immediately start like aging.
Well, I thought they were going to die, but there were no side effects to the unicorn stuff, which was...
Well, nobody lived long enough to know.
Yeah, so there were no side effects. I thought there were going to be side effects.
I was waiting on side effects.
They were using it because they weren't just putting it in the IV. They were drinking it. The son was using it to make cocktails.
Sure did.
They were they were shaving down the horn into a powder.
Yeah, and snorting it.
And the son was snorting it because he has a drug problem.
Yeah, he was a recovering addict, which I didn't realize till later.
So I thought Richard E. Grant's character was fine. He was funny.
Yeah.
I could tell when he was older and talking about using medicine to change the world and seeking opportunity and grasping things when they're in front of you. I was like, oh, yeah, when you were young, you were terrible. These are the speeches of an old man who was a menace when he was younger.
And when he got healed, he went back to
went right back to being an old menace.
Opportunists with money. And they immediately, once they realized that he was healed, they started trying to sell it to the highest bidder because the scientists say, like, we can't replicate this.
This isn't supposed to exist, so we can't replicate it.
So they're like, okay, cool. We're going to take what we can and sell pieces and parts and whatever they can to the highest bidder so they can get all the money.
So exactly. So they basically come up with a list of people that they're going to try to like leech off the miracle cure to for money because they have the only amount of it in the world.
Right. And then I think at some point in the movie, we realized that they're going to try to catch another one so they can get more because they only got the baby. What
was pretty clear in the beginning of the movie was they didn't indicate this in the trailer, but they killed a baby unicorn in the movie. So once it was very clear that there was a baby, I was like, so the parents are coming. And that's exactly what took place.
The horns start glowing, and then the scientists realize that the horn is emitting some sort of frequency. And then Jenna Ortega is seeing the aerial Borealis or whatever coming across the sky. I'm like, the parents are coming.
So electronics don't work out on the reservation where the unicorns live. It's probably why nobody ever has caught evidence of them. Although I guess you could take a Polaroid camera.
Ain't nobody
got carries around those because you never know if you're gonna run
that film probably like $1,000.
So the unicorns give off some like EMP type of signal from the horns, and that's when you can tell when they're coming around. So the first signal that the other unicorns are out there is there's two things. One, the dead unicorn's horn is still alive,
it's still emitting, and
the scientists are kind of saying that the unicorns don't die. Their cells are constantly in a state of trying to come back to life. So even the baby unicorn, we're expecting to hop up off that table at some point.
Any moment,
because its horn keeps glowing.
Right.
And when its horn glows, I think it also glows when another unicorn is close.
Sure.
Because
I don't know.
It seemed like there was something happening later on in the scene when they're like sawing the unicorn horn.
Yeah.
It seemed like the glowing horns are connected to each other at some point.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're unicorns, right? We can make up any kind of lure we want. So the glowing action definitely emitted something and was like a communication of some sort.
So when the parents show up, Richard E. Grant is like, great, we have other unicorns we can go hunt. We can get more because what they want is to have an endless supply of this so they can be rich forever.
Right.
He goes out and tries to kill it like
an
idiot.
Obviously.
It doesn't work because the unicorns set a trap because they're velociraptors.
These unicorns are fast as crack.
They're extremely quick.
I
I
like,
guess horses.
They faster than a horse.
Okay.
These things running like tigers.
Yeah.
I was like, tigers, lions, whatever. Cheetahs. They run like cheetahs.
And they don't just gore you, they eat you.
Yes.
Yes.
They will bite you, rip you the
your
limbs,
insides out. Mm-hmm.
take their horns and stab them through your face, and then they will, have you for dinner.
Yeah, so they set a trap for Richard E. Grant by making him, they shot one of the unicorns
They
over
did.
and
So they
over
had
again.
some blood that they was tracking.
And then while they're out in the forest looking for, one of the scientists at the house drops a hint that the unicorns are constantly healing.
Right.
So it's not actually hurt. It lured them out to the forest to kill them.
Right.
And it pretty much succeeds in killing Richard E. Grant.
It does. After it kind of draws out a little bit. There's some things that happen in between when they go out into the forest and when they come back. But yeah, they take them out.
So I guess one thing that we skipped is that Jen Ortega touched the unicorn horn.
Oh, right. Where they hit it the first time.
She had some type of cosmic experience where she saw the birth of the universe. She saw the big boom, the big bang or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
It was kind of goofy.
It was one of those, it was goofy.
It was goofy. That's the only way I can describe it.
She gets to see the nexus of life, I guess, when she touches the unicorn horn.
It looks cute.
It opens you up and gives you all the answers to the universe.
Nice visuals.
So Richard E. Grant also wants to achieve that. So he thinks that he's just going to touch the unicorn horn.
And get the same effect.
No, of course it was a trap. It gored you in the neck, you idiot.
And you could just see it coming. Like the unicorn's like bowing down. Like it's going to, kind of like you see in movies where an animal, if it accepts you, it like bows down to you or whatever. It starts doing that. And then when he lifts his head up, it just sticks his horn right through his head. And it's like, you didn't think he was going to do that?
And it was very clear, as an audience member to me, it was very clear that the unicorns wanted the baby. So I could not figure out why it took them so long to come to realize. They were like, what do they want?
Well, Jenna Ortega's character really was trying to tell them, but they wasn't trying to give it up because they wanted to keep the baby because it had all the goodness.
It was just weird that they couldn't come to the conclusion themselves.
Well,
like they were running around the house like, what do they want? Why do they keep terrorizing us? Yeah. Why won't they leave us alone? It can't be because we have their dead baby's carcass in the lab.
Y'all, it's literally the scenes from Jurassic Park Lost World where they take the baby T-Rex into the trailer to try to fix his legs and the parents showed up. It's literally that. Yeah. With unicorns.
Yeah. I knew you wasn't better. It's Jurassic Park 3 when Taylor Leone knew that the velociraptors wanted the eggs back. And she should have known in this movie when the unicorn
you
showed
talking
up
about where
the house.
Grant's assistant had the eggs in the bag?
And Taylor Leone had to be the one to give them back to the raptor mama.
Oh,
they trapped them. They set a trap in the forest.
Yeah. There are a lot
of parallels.
Jurassic Park parallels in this.
There's some Aliens 1 parallels.
Yeah.
There's some Jurassic Park, a little Gremlins.
It's heavy on the Jurassic.
Yeah, definitely heavy on the Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and if they thought that was going to lure people into this.
Yeah.
It just looks like a ripoff a little bit, to be honest. To be very honest.
Let's talk about Will Poulter, who plays Shepard Leopold.
Shepard Leopold was actually pretty funny.
He was funny.
I didn't like the fact that, I don't say I didn't like him. His drug addiction coming back at the end got kind of annoying because he's a recovering drug addict. So he starts sneaking pieces of the dust and the unicorn blood or whatever away, puts it in drinks, but then he starts snorting it like cocaine. And I'm like, okay, I'm over this.
Yeah.
Kill him.
Yeah, because at that point he just only leaned on his drug addiction. He wasn't even being rational anymore.
Yeah, he before he started snorting, he was funny, but he was funny because he was like a rich boy idiot. But then he was being annoying because he was high, and it was kind of like funny characters being funny high. I'm past that being funny.
And the situation was too serious. He should have did all his high hijinks earlier before the unicorn. He decided he wanted to be a drug addict after the unicorn showed up and decided to start killing them.
Oh yeah, I just the writing on his character fell off for me at the end. But before that, I liked the character.
I liked him as a character. Was funny.
Yeah.
I knew the drug addiction thing was coming because he could not. There was not a scene where he couldn't drink.
Oh, he was drinking the whole movie.
He was making a cocktail every
straight.
single scene, and then when it upgraded to the blood, to putting the blood in a cocktail, I was like, "That's gross."
Yeah.
I wouldn't even.
He was just squirting it like a squeezy. Yeah. I was like, "Ew."
It's still animal blood.
It is
in this cocktail, and you're adding enough of it to change the color of the drink.
The drink,
gross.
What is it called? Cosmic?
You don't know what it is.
Nasty.
You don't know what it could do to you.
Yeah.
They're all doing it.
You're right.
And then once he started sneaking the vial, I was like, "Oh, he's about to go snort that."
Okay. You saw it coming. I was like, "What is he doing?" Oh, I thought he was stealing stuff so he could sell it under the table.
When he quote unquote accidentally dropped it open on the table, I was like, sir.
He rolls it up, gets $100 bill, snorts it right up his nose.
You accidentally dropped this powder.
I was like,
right into the clean surface of this table.
With $100 bill in your pocket ready to go. I was like, dang it. His character was fine up until the drug addiction came back. And then I was like, just kill him off. I'm done with this.
Téa Leoni plays Belinda Leopold. I thought she was fine.
I put her and Shepard in the same bucket of characters who I liked through most of the movie. And then towards the end, the writing for them just got a little too wacky. Because there's a scene at the end where it's just her and the son. And they're trying to escape one of the unicorns that came into the house. And she's like rambling and talking and freaking out. I'm just like, girl, shut up. Mm-hmm. There is a unicorn coming to kill you. Could you be quiet? Could you whisper? Kill her.
I thought she
Take
was
her out.
Funny. She played like the perfectly flighty,
older
rich wife.
Yeah.
Who, I guess she's kind of involved in the company to an extent.
She seemed to be.
Because she seems to understand a little bit of the science when the guy was breaking it down to her.
Right. She was knowledgeable. She just wasn't there. I like that she wasn't just like a drunk wife who was just flailing around, didn't know what was going on. She was in the know.
It was funny that she could tell her son was good for nothing, but they're rich, so she just kind of lets him be.
It don't matter.
When they talk about when the dad dies and everybody's getting their dividends or their cut of the money, Taylor, and he's talking about going into business. He's talking about splitting it up into one of his multiple different ventures, and she just kind of looks at him like, oh child,
right, like, your ventures that don't do nothing.
She just looks at him like, you're such a lost cause,
just eat up money,
but you're my only child, so.
Right. Whatever gets you out my hair. It was kind of her thing, like,
your
sure,
own money, so you have to ask me for anything,
whatever.
I thought one of the twists was going to be that she actually didn't like Richard E. Grant. She was waiting for him to die, but it seemed like she actually loved him. She was sad when he died.
She was broke up.
Although when he was in the bed, it seemed like she was just ready for him to go, or maybe because he was rambling.
Yeah, there's a scene where he starts to tell the history of the land that they built their house on, and she tells them they obviously have stolen land from like some natives, and she's like, "Shush,
one of my favorite lines."
She's like, "Shush, shush, shush."
Yeah,
you don't need to say
he talks about when they first took the land, the local tribe did not like that, and she basically just like she says you never have to tell that story ever again.
Yeah. Because he don't finish it. And we like, so you stole this land?
Yeah, you stole it from the indigenous people.
It was going to come back to like the indigenous people were like, curse the lands because they put it on it. But no, that never actually comes up.
Yeah. I
guess we're supposed to imply it. I don't know. Yeah, I was like, okay, this could have went somewhere. I guess
the unicorns is karma, which wouldn't have been if they just left him alone. But,
right.
So if they had just left the unicorn alone in the middle of the road, would have just gotten up and walked off?
There'd be no movie.
Interesting. So they would have ended up right back where. Never mind. Well, who else we have on the list? That is all of our characters.
I will shout out their butler, Griff.
Yes.
He was pretty. He was way in the background, but they hollered for him all the movie. And then there's one scene where they asked him to do something to help. He needs to open up the gate so they can escape. And he has to go outside where the unicorns are. And they basically volunteered him to do it. He's like, but I got kids. And they were like, oh, you have kids? Oh, you do have kids. And I was just like, this rich people act just like this.
A mess. So Anthony Kerrigan, I'm glad you brought him up, will be playing Metamorpho and Superman.
Oh, he doesn't look, obviously, he doesn't look like Metamorpho.
No, but he has alopecia.
Okay.
And he's taught because he has no hair. You've noticed he doesn't have eyebrows either.
Oh, I did not
So he has total alopecia. But he's talked about how he's been typecast as villains because of his condition. Metamorpho is a hero. So,
good for him.
he's a villain turned hero, but a hero all the same. So good for him.
And he was good in this. He actually was a decent person.
Yeah, I liked him in this. He was of use. He wasn't an idiot.
He was not.
He was the only person who was nice to Jenna Ortega and kind of listened to her. He didn't have very many scenes and didn't speak too much.
Right. But every time they said his name, he just would show up like, what do you want?
But he lived.
And he did.
Yes.
He did live. He was, outside of Jenna Ortega, he was the other good person in this movie.
Do you have any likes and dislikes?
I feel like we said most of them in the non-spoiler thoughts, to be honest. I will say that, and I don't know if this is a like or a dislike, but I thought the movie would have a bigger twist or a bigger like, oh, that's why the unicorns are talking to, Jenna Ortega, or this is the purpose of her finding the tapestries, but it just kind of fell.
Yeah, the only
it went
twist,
nowhere.
The only twist is that the unicorns are immortal.
Yeah.
And they can't be like
the tapestry,
killed.
I don't think said that. So that was the only thing.
Well, yeah, the tapestry said reborn, But it didn't really elaborate
Yeah.
that all of them could do that.
No.
So I thought that just the baby would come back, but
Yeah.
I guess none of them can die.
No, because the
even if they are dead for days.
Right. It's been at least 2 days, and that baby has been gutted, sliced,
turned into steak.
Now, let's get back to that, because that's the pen.
Okay.
So there's a point in the movie where they make Griff make the dad, what's his name? Richard E. Grant's character, Odell, makes Griff make him a steak.
Because at some point in the movie,
unicorn's body.
They're trying different things with the unicorn carcass.
They're drinking it. They're putting it in IVs. They're snorting it. Mm-hmm. They're eating it.
Right.
And I was just like, when we get back to the baby being healed by the parents to come back alive, I was like, where's the chunk of meat at? Missing from the baby. Mm-hmm. Plot hole.
Yeah.
Or bad writing. Pick one. I don't care. But not until you said that earlier, I was like, wait a second.
Where did the unicorn steak come from?
There was a steak that was eaten and cooked. Mm-hmm. Medium well. Yeah. But the baby's...
Because the steak isn't just like a slice off the side. You gotta get in there.
Right. You got to clean it.
You got to butcher it.
Get the bone. Get it from around the bone.
Yeah.
And I forgot about that till you said it.
And it looked like Chuck. So it was definitely one of the insides.
It wasn't on New York strip.
Right. It wasn't right along the ribs.
It had no fat on it either.
So the chunk was missing from the unicorn body. I mean, there was no chunk missing from the unicorn body.
No. And then nowhere did it look like they sliced the unicorn for steak.
But it looked nasty.
It was like
purple and glowing, like it had glitter on it.
And he eating it medium well, so it's like quote unquote bleeding.
You don't even know what it like. What's the pink?
Right. No, he never says what it tastes like.
Yeah, he never says what it tastes like. So you don't know what the cook.
Like, how do you know it's medium well?
Like. It's all purple.
Or medium, whatever.
What does the raw part look like?
I don't.
Just.
It was weird. It was a weird looking piece of meat. And the fact he was just eating it like a steak was like, ugh.
Did it have any other likes or dislikes? Like I said, I thought they made Paul Rudd's character too unlikable.
Yeah.
None of his lines are funny because he's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that Will Poulter sacrificed his mom for the unicorn.
Yeah, that was weird. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, I thought it didn't dawn on me until later in the movie that I thought he didn't kill the unicorn because he was scared of blowing up his mom. No, he didn't kill the unicorn so he could capture it later. He let the unicorn eat his mom. Yeah. So he could hog tie them later.
Téa Leoni gets her intestines ripped out by a unicorn.
So he just goes full villain.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
And
let
he
your
dies
mom
like
get
he
her
should.
guts. I mean, at least shoot her in the head.
I mean,
you
literally.
Have to blow up the unicorn, but at least put one in me.
She's alive while her intestines
If a unicorn is eating me alive, put me out.
Yeah, at least shoot me in the face.
Yeah. You can have, even if you want to preserve the unicorn later, just take care of me.
Kill me. Right. Shoot me.
I'm not going to survive anyway, so I'm not going to hold the grudge too long.
It's a weird family dynamic there. You're right.
And I liked the tapestry scene when they revealed the
missing
part of the tapestry that I think she said was destroyed during the Roman Empire, the French Revolution.
They make up some story.
One of the fake tapestry was ruined in an actual historical event,
right?
But only the half that showed the unicorns eating the people. And I thought that was so stupid because if it was ruined, how do you have a perfect digital recollection?
So the tapestry that part was saved was that a young, fair, innocent maiden is how you control the unicorns, right? So they'll calm down, and then what happens is this young maiden calms them down so much that they capture a unicorn, and then the unicorn is captured. End of tapestry. But what actually is a whole nother section of the tapestry that got burned in World War whatever.
Unicorn's vengeance is unmatched.
Yeah, the unicorn actually like guts everybody, kills everybody, takes it out on everybody, and lives happily ever after.
Yeah.
So that part of the tapestry is what the movie actually plays
that
out.
I felt like was so ridiculous, especially for a news broadcast.
Yeah, so because they just hit a button and all the little tapestries just pop up like tiles.
They use like the unburning effect on it because apparently it burned away.
They did the reverse.
And it reveals like, who would make a tapestry of this?
It's literally guts.
Yeah.
Drawn
who would
on a rug.
It takes forever to make a tapestry.
Yeah.
So who would take all day making a tapestry of a unicorn ripping somebody's guts out
on
the other side of a fence of a fair maiden?
It just
who looks fine.
Right. How did that part get? And the fair maiden part is perfectly chopped.
Yeah.
So where you see all of her
to
and
the
none
point
of
where
the
you
rest.
don't think anything's missing.
Right.
Because it's perfectly chopped.
Complete picture. What are you talking about? Yeah, it was probably one of the funniest parts of the movie because it was so ridiculous.
So let's talk about the ending.
So the movie ends how you think it would. Paul Rudd tries to chase one of the unicorns away to save his daughter. The daughter and Paul Rudd make up. They come to terms.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Paul, what's his name? The son, Shepard, is trying to wrangle the other unicorn, and he actually, through one of his highs, figures out that Jenna Ortega is the one that is needed to tame the unicorn.
Yeah, so a couple things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
So he realizes Jenna Ortega is the one that's needed to, and they realize that the cast officially realized that the unicorns
will come back.
Want the baby back.
Oh yes, want the baby back. And they also know that the unicorns will come back to life.
But they've also already cut off the unicorn's horn. So the horses have the baby, but now they're pissed because its horn is gone. And that's essential in the resurrection process.
Right. Angry.
So they are mad.
Right. So the unicorns show up. They are now tamed though by Jenna Ortega. Mm-hmm. Will Poultner basically ties him up because he's like, yes, now I got the goods. Mm-hmm. Paul Rudd comes running back with the baby unicorn's horn in his hand. Mm-hmm. And then what happens? Oh, he finally has attack of morality, and he finally wants to be a good person. So he kills the son, because the son is kind of like, I'm about to take these unicorns back to the lab and make some money. Do you want in on it?
Everybody has died. Right.
And the only way to get out of it is to kill the son. So Paul Rudd stabs the son, but then the son stabs Paul Rudd. They both die, quote unquote, from their injuries.
A body shot?
Yeah, the stabs ain't that.
Stab Will Poulter in the face?
You should have stabbed him in the throat.
Yeah. Killing blows. Do you want to stab somebody more than once?
Said, you should have went for the head.
Yeah, do you really want to stab somebody more than once?
Right. So, stabby. We have this touching moment between Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd as he's dying. He dies. The unicorns snap out of it and realize that they're tied up. They get untied, and then they officially kill Will Poultner through some sort of scuffle or whatever.
They heel kick him. I wish he would have got gored like everybody else, but I guess we saw torn apart. Like the scientist girl got ripped in half.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
Yeah, she did, and she was actually somewhat innocent. I mean, she was testing on a unicorn, but she was
sealed her fate when she tried to run off with the powder.
She did.
Nobody could live if they tried to escape with the unicorn resources. And I knew that. That was just,
You're right. So then unicorns face punch the son. So the son is officially dead. They see Jenna Ortega crying. And, she's the innocent one, right? So they basically...
I guess they understand English. It looks like they have a conversation.
They do. They look at each other like...
They have like a husband and wife exchange.
They look like, should we say this fool? And they're like...
Just go do it. Do it so we can go.
Right. We got things to do today. We got to heal this baby, and we got to go grocery shopping. Let's get out of here.
Lost 2 days of planning.
Right, to these fools. Right. So they drag Paul Rudd in a pile with the baby unicorn. They
literally put him in a death pile.
Listen, they are piled up on top of each other.
We're going to do this once. Do them both at the same time.
2 for 1. They do some little healing ritual with their with their horns.
I have a note. This is Chaos Magic Wand.
It definitely looked like something the Scarlet Witch would put together. Some straight out of the Avengers movie. Mm-hmm. They do some little magic, little woo, and then the baby unicorn and Paul Rudd both come back alive. The unicorns are now white, so I guess that's one thing we didn't mention. The baby is always white, but the mom and the dad are like...
I guess when they're angry, they're gray.
They're very menacing, like horses, but they're unicorns. Mm-hmm. Just think like of a big old stallion, but it's like on steroids.
Because all horses look menacing to me.
And the mouth... Pretty. But they have like really scary looking teeth.
Yeah.
Where they rip you apart.
Like they're huge. They're like Clydesdale size.
Super Clydesdale.
Yeah, and they're furry. They're like woolly, like bears.
With and their horns are not cute. They're like jagged, rugged.
Their horns like every version of a sword from Final Fantasy. They have like ridges,
like
and
each little ridge would just cut you. So they finally turn white after doing the little ritual. So the unicorns run off to be peaceful. Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega are having a good moment, but then Griff shows up with the cops. And everybody's dead, and they like,
and there's no evidence of unicorn play.
Obviously, because the unicorns been pieced out finally, because they're about to go do that grocery shopping. Mm-hmm. So they put Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega in the back of a police car, and the police officer's like, y'all gonna have to explain what the heck is going on here, because the story y'all telling me don't make no sense. So the unicorns are like, okay, let's do one last thing. God. And they show up running alongside the police car, and they cause a car crash to essentially get Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd out so they can escape. and everybody lives happily ever
It
after.
makes sense in hindsight why the unicorn saved them. Because, like, why would the unicorn save these people? Like,
probably because they don't want
sense.
them to tell either.
Yes, because if they leave and they tell everybody else that there are unicorns here, then they're going to come looking for them.
Yeah, so they basically cause a car crash
out of necessity
to kill the cops.
Right, because I was like, there's no way they're going to let that cop live.
Kill the cop, the innocent cop.
R.I.P. to that cop.
Who was just trying to do her job.
Who they aren't going to warn when they prepare their tuck and roll. They're not going to warn her that the horses are about to kill
Jenna
you.
Ortega and Paul Rudd know that the unicorns are about to do what they about to do. So they like strap up in their seatbelts.
Crazy.
Tuck down into the back of the car seat. Griff is in the car behind them so he can like stop before the car
keep going.
Right.
That's y'all issue.
Right. I wouldn't want Griff.
I've had enough.
Griff, like, I just need to get away.
I
ain't gonna say nothing else. Just leave me alone.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, the unicorns basically cause a car crash to kill the innocent police so that they don't tell, and that Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd can go live their lives happily.
And Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega have mended their relationship because they have both experienced the same
touching of the
unicorn and seeing where all creation of life is made.
Sure. The end.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was it.
That was all. Do you have a favorite line to sing?
I like the scene where Taylor Leone was telling Richard E. Grant not to tell the story about the Native Americans
while he was down on his bed.
I thought that was funny.
That was pretty funny.
I didn't have any other favorite line or scenes, but I have a couple random notes.
My favorite scene would actually be where they killed Richard E. Grant. And that is because we get to see the unicorns in full-fledged, like, wide-angle shot.
Yeah.
And they look pretty menacing. There's actually parts of the movie that are kind of quote-unquote scary because they look out off into the distance and it's like super dark. And they pan away and they pan back and they pan away and pan back. And the unicorn's just like, boom!
Or you can see the unicorn shadow in the mist.
Yes. These unicorns are not cute and furry and cuddly.
They're
and
velociraptors.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Essentially. So I did like the menacing nature of the unicorn. So when they actually kill Richard E. Grant, it actually looked kind of cool. So
yeah.
That's my favorite scene. Random note?
Random note I had is Taylor Leone had to run from dinosaurs and unicorns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Expert.
So she's an expert at that.
And drug dealers and bad boys.
I thought he was an idiot for trying to touch that wild animal. Never touch a wild animal.
That's why I knew he was going to die. I was like, yes, we about
even
to
if it looks like it's giving
you
permission.
about to get a really good kill out of this.
Even if it looks like it's about to give you permission, it's wild.
Yeah.
So.
And there's two of them. Mind you, there's two of them. He's trying to touch one and the other one is directly behind him watching. I was like, either the one behind him is going to kill him or the one that he's trying to touch is going to kill him.
Yeah, exactly.
Those
are my only random notes.
All right. I don't have anything else. Let's do our rating. What would you give this?
I'll give this a 3.5. Nicole Kidman's. I don't think it was a bad movie.
Yeah.
I do think it wasn't technically long because it's only an hour and 47 minutes.
Yeah.
But I do think it could have used its runtime better or did more interesting things with its runtime. I don't think it did anything to make me care about the dead wife. They didn't touch on that enough.
No.
But they made it so much of the pacing slow down to talk about her.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to go. It was mostly a 3 for me until the third act when the unicorns got the Ted up. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to add an extra 5 for that. So I'll do 3.5 Nicole Kidman's as well.
Unicorns did a lot of saving towards the end of the movie.
Agree. Mm-hmm. They made the movie interesting.
Yeah.
Even though they was killing everybody, it was interesting to watch.
And I enjoyed the Leopold family for who they were supposed to be.
In the beginning, yes.
Yes.
In the beginning.
Like rich people who have no sense of how the world actually works.
No ethics.
Sense of morals. No sense of morals. They should have touched more on the fact that the wife died of cancer and how Jenna Ortega talks about how their family, even if they had to cure cancer, wouldn't have never gave it to her in the first place because she's not rich like them. They could have put more effort into that.
Well, Paul Rudd just shrugged it off like, okay, well, I gotta go catch a unicorn.
Do you not realize that you work for the worst people in the world who would have let your wife die?
No, he did not care.
Yeah.
He did not care.
And the only reason they're doing this is because, like Jenna Ortega said, you're a charity case to them.
Right, because they started treating him like the help.
Yeah.
Eventually.
And when the unicorn showed up and killed all of the actual security, the armed military, they wanted Paul Rudd to go out and look.
Yeah, exactly. Because he was literally the help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trash.
So, yeah, trash.
I mean, they played trash very well, though. So
they did good, yeah.
I give him that.
All right, so that is our rating and review on Death of a Unicorn. Go see it if you can. I don't know if it'll be in theaters very long. It's not making very much money. No. And Minecraft seems to be eating up all the screens.
It's probably the last week. If you are just now listening to this episode, you might check the day and go because it's probably about to be it.
So if you missed a theater experience and you watch it on streaming, let us know. If you plan to watch it, let us know.
Yeah, somebody likes this.
Yeah.
74 is not bad.
No.
On Rotten Tomatoes. It just, it's not a 90.
It's not nearly as bad as critics are saying it is.
It's better
They're acting
than
like it's offensive, and it's not offensive.
It's not. It's I think when a movie's A24, it's like it's got to be like 100% or nothing. It's like relax.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah.
Worse movies exist.
So that is our review for this week. What are we watching next week?
We are either watching Drop or The Amateur. I don't know which one. You're looking at me like Drop is the answer. Is the correct answer? I think so.
It might be.
I think we're watching Drop. Sounds like we're watching Drop.
And you know what?
Which is funny because I hated watching this trailer.
I would have never seen this trailer.
And then you said that people said it was good.
People that I trust are saying that it's actually good.
Fine.
And even if it's not written good, the more now that I hear that, yeah, it looks like it's gonna at least be entertaining.
Fine. It's not a. It's a. What do we call it? A thriller, mystery thriller.
I guess it's not a horror.
It's not a horror.
It is not a slasher because it doesn't seem like we'll be seeing a lot of killing.
Yeah, it's like a thriller suspense type movie.
Yeah.
No horror, guys. No horror. So yeah, we're gonna be watching Drop next episode. I'm more convinced. I wasn't convinced at first because the trailers I thought was goofy, but
if it's dumb, like
I don't mind dumb fun.
Like Hard Eyes.
Sure.
I would enjoy it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like dumb
if it's
fun.
like absolutely ridiculous and it makes no sense and it looks like it isn't.
It'll be good to talk about.
Looks like it won't make any sense. So.
It'll be good to talk about at least.
All right. So thanks for listening. If you like our show, please share it. You can you can leave us a review on Apple Podcast or on our website at vaguelynerdypodcast.com, where you can also leave us a voice message where we will play on the show. If it's nice, if it's not nice, you'll hear from Cheryl about it.
And I'll find you on LinkedIn.
You can follow us on Threads and IG at Vaguely Nerdy Podcast, Blue Sky and Twitter at Vaguely Nerdy Pod. You can reach us at vaguelynerdypodcast@gmail.com. And if you're listening to us on a podcast app and you want a visual treat, you can watch our animated episodes on YouTube at Vaguely Nerdy Podcast.
Yep. And if you want to donate a little monetary cash, you can find us on Ko-fi at Vaguely Nerdy Podcast.
Yeah. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Comment, like, and subscribe.
Until next time.
Bye.